Wingstop wings are too small. I can't imagine there's a difference. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to discredit what you're saying, but they probably all get it from the same fucking factory. There's just no way that Wingstop is like, yeah, give us the small chickens. I don't know. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it, but maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Hey. Go there, you Uber Eats it, bro, like a good streamer. I have never Uber Eats Wingstop or B-dubs in my entire life. You bite your fucking tongue. There's only one restaurant that I Uber Eats when I'm feeling low, when I feel like I'm going to indulge on streamer privilege and that's fucking Chipotle. And I'm not happy about it. And every time I look at the bill and I'm like, this is so stupid. Chipotle is the only one. I've only private taxied my burrito. The broke friend when everyone orders wings. I have never ordered in my life, and I won't start now. However, if I could add to your order, can I get lemon pepper, an original hot? It's like the worst Uber Eats to get. You're not even wrong. It's funny that you're trying to shame me by telling me the truth about things I already know. Yeah, Chipotle Uber Eats is usually shit. They do a bad job. They don't fill the bowl. They under portion it, and it's all sloppy in there, and then they just, yes, 100%. I don't know why they've got me by the goddamn balls. But whenever I'm like hungry and I don't want to just drink Huel, then I will order Chipotle, and I feel bad about it every time. You had a lettuce bun. What? You can't have a lettuce bun for Chipotle. What are you talking about? Hey, Meg, are you going to try Rivals 2? Good game. I believe and agree it's a good game. I've played it. I mean, I've played it with friends. It is a good game. I don't think I'll play it because, much like Slippy Melee, I will get addicted and angry. That's kind of what I just know that I would do that. When I played Slippy Melee, I would smash my desk. The thing about 1v1 platform fighters more than any other type of game, and maybe some of you have experienced this, is that it draws out the rage in a certain type of person. Some people get way madder at team games. I get way madder at solo games, 1v1. And I especially get mad when I feel like I'm underperforming what I've practiced. Yeah, maybe it's more like you can't blame support. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the same thing. Like, I mean, I get mad at League, but not really. I don't think I'm not thinking about it later like I used to in college. But I will get mad about Melee, or I'll get mad about Rivals. You just say fuck that bot lane. Yeah, again, the thing that makes me madder in Melee is when I'm feeding. In League. When I'm feeding in League, then I feel like shit. I feel like fucking terrible. I feel mad. I feel frustrated. But when I'm carrying and my team is losing, I'm kind of fake mad. I'm mad, but I feel secretly really good. I feel like I'm the GOAT. My team sucks. They're all letting me down, and I'm the greatest. And I'm like, you fucking suck. But I'm not really mad. Like, it doesn't bother me. But if I'm feeding, then I get actually mad. I feel like it's fucking shitty. I feel like it's such a gut punch feeling. Hey, Cole Tong, thank you for the 16 months. Boys, I have been a little bit off of the grind, stream grind, because I've been on the video game grind. Turns out it's not very easy to do any aspect at all of a video game release. But we are nearing the finish line. And it's really cool, and it's fun, and I'm excited, and I got some videos coming out, and should be great. Should be great. What happened to lock-in November? There was no lock. There was lock-in October. Locktober, as we called it, where I was wearing a chastity belt and streaming the whole time. Didn't need the belt, it turns out. Streaming streaming does the job. It turns out you didn't need the belt. Was a useless, it's like a secondary. Just playing League of Legends and streaming is a reverse aphrodisiac enough. Have you still never been? No, we've been married for 2 years now. We haven't had sex yet, but I know the day is coming. I know the day is coming, chat. Just gotta keep on grinding. Any day now. I will no longer be a virgin in my 30s. What's up with the flickering lights? It's you're having a stroke. You're having a stroke and you're dying, and you should gift me all your subs because it's you don't have much time left. That's what you should do. No, I'll turn it off. But it's so hot in here if I don't. What do I put it on 2? Is that like a lower? If I put it on a lower frequency, does it flicker less? Let's try it out. This is fan. Do you think anyone has died while chatting? That's such a morbid question. But yes. Statistically, yes, for sure. 100%. I mean, sometimes people say, you know, like, they're laughing so hard they died. You know, like the metaphor. Like, they put the skull emoji and they go, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. This killed me. Because, like, I'm dropping so many funny bangers. Idgedoll. How many people's okay, I don't think it's happening a lot in my stream. I think people have died chatting. I don't think it's happening in I think it's in probably 100,000 viewers stream. Statistically, somebody's died. I think in this stream, we don't have anybody dying. I certainly don't think it's regular. I don't think it's like many people. Big Ed, you ever watched South Park? I have watched almost every episode of South Park, right? Just except for recent ones. But growing up, I watched every one. Comedy Central. There used to be a time when, this sounds so boomer now, but you had to watch things on TV and it wasn't on demand. Isn't that crazy? It feels like, doesn't that feel like it wasn't insanely long ago, but it feels so, like you'd have to, when you come home from school, there would be just things on TV at certain times and you'd plan for it. And like, I would always watch late night Comedy Central before I went to bed. And it's so weird now though, because, you know, mentally I'm in the new era where you just watch whatever you want, whenever you want it. As long as you're willing to pay absurd amounts for whatever streaming service has bought the rights. Hey, do we get a friends and family discount for the game? I will give you both friends and family discount because all my chatters are my friends and all my real friends are my family. It will be 0.00000000000 when sent off. All right, it'll round down, so you won't be able to see it, but it is there, and you are getting it because of your special connection with me. So enjoy the game. But there's a tariff. there's also a friends and family tariff, so it balances out. Fuck, I forgot about the tariff, dude. Trump's America. What can I do? I can't. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying my best to deliver you value, but Trump keeps inflating up the cost with his goddamn tariff. Did you see day one? Wait, first discussion point. We got to talk about this. Trump today vows he will hit China, Canada, and Mexico with new tariffs. First day, 25% on Canada and Mexico. I believe an additional 10% on China. Yeah, that's what it is. He will levy tariffs 25% on all Canada and Mexico plus extra time. So let's find out. Let's do a quick check. What do we get from Canada and what do we get from Mexico? So we'll see what's going to be more expensive. Mexico imports, United States imports from Mexico. Let's see. What do we get? What are Mexico's top exports? Okay. It looks like we get oil, computers, video displays, air conditioners, cars, tons of cars, cars and trucks, trucks. Oh yeah, also a ton of beer. I feel like almost all the big breweries have set up factories in Mexico. So that's what's gonna be more expensive. Is beer, possibly oil. This is a pretty small amount net on net. And cars. A little bit more expensive. From Canada, I assume we get nothing, right? Because they don't have an economy. Canada's like, it's like a hockey amusement park. Canada exports to United States. I'm not like, do we buy snow? Do like ski places buy snow from Canada? Is that, I can't imagine anything else. Oh, it turns out it's also oil. Oh, especially oil. Yeah, oil and natural gas, massive from Canada. Canada's like one of the biggest natural gas exporters in the world. And I believe it's like actually maple syrup, lumber, and again, cars. Yeah, I guess car prices will go up. All right, so we don't need any of that stuff. I work at a lumber yard in Wisconsin. Almost every piece of wood we get is from Canada. We're going to be fucked. Listen, I have driven through this great country of America, and I've seen at least 100 trees. At least 100. So let's just chop them down. Do you know what I'm saying? You know how like every Walmart parking lot will have some trees around it? Chop those. Lumber. Boom. We're set. We need more and then we can make our parking lots bigger. That's like a win-win. It's a win-win. I do think that these tariffs will be immediately inflationary. As I've said, I don't want to harp on the same thing. Let's see. The ones I am more supportive of are the ones on China. That's 10%. Stiff new tariffs on imports from the U.S.'s three largest trading partners would significantly increase costs and disrupt businesses across all economies involved. Even the threat of tariffs can have a chilling effect. Wherever tariffs are required, 100%, 200%, 1000%. This is on Chinese cars, which, dude, I looked into it. So let me tell you something. I have looked into purchasing a Chinese car in America. There's no way to do it. They don't sell it. The tariffs are already so high they don't do it. You can't do it. If I would like to purchase one, I can try to get it shipped to Mexico and drive it up, but then I need to still pay the tariff, which is 100% of the cost of the car. So if I wanted to buy a, let's say, $40-something thousand Xiaomi SU7, which is the car I was thinking of getting, here's what it looks like. I could essentially buy the car it's like based on, which is the Porsche Taycan. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't I just buy that? This is going to be like $90,000, which is the whole point of it is it's a great price. It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, you got, or I could buy this. I could buy this. It's a little bit more of like a daily driver, and not really like a high-end vehicle. But it could be like, a little more classy for like going out for it's more convenient for grocery shopping. Now we're talking. Anyway, I'm not actually in the market for a car now. I just really wanted a Chinese EV, but if I can't get one, I can't get one. There's just not. Hey, what's this? This is just a league meme. Thank you. Hey, some of these tariffs will work in the long run with more American manufacturers, but short-term country works in the next well. Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, they're a jobs program. They will bring certain jobs to America for sure, but at great cost to consumers who will then be paying for those jobs to exist here. So they better be damn important. And I don't think we need to care about maple syrup. I don't think maple syrup is so important to American jobs that we can't just... I'm going to cook Canada, Big A. I'm already poor. Feels bad, man. Wait, is it going to cook Canada? Oh. Yeah, I don't think it's going to help Canada either. Assuming they also do retaliatory tariffs. And, of course, they're going to lose the jobs in the industries that we're exporting to America. It's going to be bad up and down. But Canada's already gone. We can't help you, little bro. I can't... Dude, this is another thing. So here's what nobody's... I guess people are talking about this, but like... So Trump is planning to do huge deportations day one of undocumented immigrants. And, you know, notwithstanding the obvious, extreme community and family damaging moral problems of this, it's like, I don't think people truly understand how no Americans want to work at a Tyson chicken factory. They just don't want to do it. And they're not going to do it. And if they do it, the price will be absurd. So it's not like this plus tariffs is going to like make prices jack up so quickly. It's just gonna, I think it's going to happen so quickly. Like it's going to be first 6 months. Mike Tyson has a chicken factory. They don't want to work there because they didn't beat Jake Paul. They would obviously work for low wages if he won, but because he lost, I pray it happens so the rich folks get. Well, see, that's the only thing I'm worried about. I thought that would happen too, but someone gave me a dark outcome where, wow, I shouldn't even start the stream with this. It's too dark. Let's talk about something else. I'll come back to it. It's too dark, bro. It's a vibe killer. I'm happy to talk about it, but I need to turn on the air. It's also hot as fuck in here. It's too hot. Bro, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a fucking freezer in this room, and I'm gonna do a live freezer shirt. I actually think I need a freezer shirt regularly. I need to be swapping it out every few minutes. Okay, here's the thing. I'll just tell you, but okay, here's the idea. The idea is deportations of 1 million people out of America back to their home countries. Nearly impossible. Logistically, it's just extremely expensive, extremely difficult. However, additionally, once they do it, there'll be an immediate labor shortage and a ton of jobs that keep certain economies going and the goods cheap. I'm talking about Tyson Chicken. A lot of jobs that Americans don't want to do. Okay? Now, those jobs should be better paid minimum wage. I agree. But it's going to be an immediate effect. All right? Second effect. The third effect is that the rich owners of those factories are not going to put up with it, and there's going to be a public-private partnership to, instead of deport these people, basically make them into prison labor that is now working the same jobs. That is the third dark part, where these people go from undocumented immigrants to prison labor for the same jobs they were doing before. That is essentially an outcome that is becoming more possible. Because I don't think I don't even think their plan of 1 million people deported is possible. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think they can do it. let alone deal with the aftermath. So I think that is a scary possible outcome. And so then I'm kind of looking into how to support a fight against. I just started, you know, recognizing the reality of this. So I'm looking into it. Anyway, I don't want to start off with that. It's not the greatest way to start a stream. It's an interesting thought experiment, and we should talk about it more as we get closer, but it's not what I want to talk about so much today. There are a lot of more interesting and slightly lighter news, to be honest. Work camps. No, this is 100%. This is what I was looking at. Private prison stocks are up, and I think it's based on this. It's based on people realizing that there will be, it's not going to be possible to actually deport people, and it's going to be a benefit to for-profit prisons that provide the labor back to the same places they were deported from. I think it's horrendous. So I actually am, you know, I'm pretty off-put by the whole thing. I just don't, it's not, I can't say that 100 times. That's it. That's why I don't like it. It makes me feel yuck. You voted for this? Nah, you're right. Yeah, you got me. Yeah. Fuck, I shouldn't have done that. What an L on my part. And I was the decider vote too, if you can believe it. I just thought, fuck it. I look better in red, baby. He's really into hats. It all makes sense. Dude, fictional undecided voter who chose MAGA because he liked the hat more. Undecided Pennsylvania voter who last minute, I mean, it is a better hat than the Harris Walls hat. I mean, that's just a fact. It's, you know, iconic color branding. It's, what can I say? Drippier. Now do a red Enron hat. That's gonna be so funny. Dude, on January 20th or whatever, when he takes office, I launch a red Enron hat, just go all in. Easy money, double dip. Hey, Quack, do you think Kai Cenat could have swayed the presidential election? No, I don't. I actually believe every time a celebrity gets really animated about a political choice, it hurts that candidate. I truly believe this. I think the people almost rebel. I think they rebel. I think if LeBron James and Taylor Swift had said we're voting for Trump, it would have helped Harris more. Or Katy Perry. I think if they had said they're voting Trump, it would have, I think that would have shooken up the system. I think that shit doesn't help at all. People, you know, people do not follow Katy Perry for her political opinions in general. And then when they feel there's some sort of authority to it, I think they just get rebellious. I think Americans in general, more than Europeans, and I've lived in both continents, especially growing up in both continents, and you see it with kids, okay? I think Americans have a general sense of, they like to be the underdog and they like to say, fuck you. It's something about Americans. We like, I don't know, we like to say, fuck you to someone who's telling you to do something, or I don't know. It's not always a good thing. In fact, it probably often isn't, but I do think that is an American thing. It's just part of the spirit here. Yeah, it's like an individualism thing, but it's also like I think, yeah, it's like an underdog thing. It's like if a teacher's mad at a student, even if the student's in the wrong, we like, I don't know. We're just like, if the kid's like, fuck you, teach, we kind of want to clap. I don't know. There's some kind of rebellious nature to it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's not the greatest attribute, but it certainly is unique. Do you have any recommendations for business news to get subscription for? Dude, I mentioned offhandedly to my friend Ashcon that I read the FT. I've read all of the big news publications. I like the FT. He bought the physical edition, daily deliver. By the way, he's a Zoomer, so it's even more embarrassing. This is embarrassing. He's like 25, and he's getting daily delivered the physical newspaper to his fucking apartment. All right, it's already embarrassing. And then he shows up to our Friendsgiving and won't stop talking about it. Holy moly! Thanks, babe. Speaking of Thanksgiving, this is truly a feast. Steak and broccoli. Anyway, he won't stop name dropping the FT. He wasn't doing it cool. And then it was making me feel worse about reading it. I was like, act like you've been there before. Do you know what I'm saying? Act like you've been there before. You're supposed to subtly. You don't go, oh, I saw the FT the other day. FT. It's gotta be, keep it subtle. You gotta lean into it. Anyway, I do love that guy, but so that's one thing I would recommend. I am reading this book. But I got it from a great podcast that I was going to recommend you. This one. Wait, check this out. Kaput. The End of the German Miracle. This book is I'm going to just yoink it. I mean, I'm obviously going to get more sources and give credit, and it's going to be mostly credit to this book, but I want to make like a short version that just explains. I mean, this guy goes into such detail on everything that's gone wrong in Germany over the past, let's say, since 2008. How it's all just gotten worse, and it's now finally hitting, and Germany's just like doesn't know what to do. They're at the end of their rope, and everything that's worked for them for decades is not working. I think it's a fascinating story, and I think it would be a really sick YouTube video. So I'm trying to like put on my YouTuber brain when I'm reading it, and like, how can I make this simple? And I think you will enjoy it. I think it's fascinating. I think it's like, unless you're German and you work in a factory, in which case you're gonna fucking hate it. Damn, that's good. Sometimes I wonder if you read to make YouTube vids or make YouTube vids to read. So that's a great question. I didn't normally, but I do notice it more now. I notice more now that when I'm reading, I'm thinking about how I would tell this to the chat. It used to happen naturally, but now my brain is kind of doing it with thought, which I don't know. Maybe it's good or bad. I think it's probably fine. But I do think like, oh, I should remember this line for chat. I think that's cool. I don't think that's wrong with that. Can you switch it off? I mean, I haven't tried. But it kind of motivates me. It's just like, here's the thing. The sad truth about my life, here's the sad truth, is that I'm very, very, very interested in this stuff. Like, stuff like this gets me going. And nobody in my life, my real life, gives a shit. Except for maybe Aiden Calvin, okay? Except for maybe Aiden. Aiden will call me and ask about this stuff, but nobody else cares, okay? Nobody. So, for me to have this thing where I can find strangers on the internet who are, some of you, forced to listen to it because you just want to wait for House, but you have to get through me talking about German economy or whatever. But some of you are interested in it as well, and that is a huge win for me. That's the greatest pleasure of this quote unquote job for me, is that I get to talk about these things. And somebody's got some feedback, or I get a DM from guys like, hey, I live in Germany. Did you know this? And whatever. That's the thrill of it. That's why I like doing it. Um, but then people say like this, and you know, it's like it's fine. But I also don't fuck with that either. I don't care. I don't care about it from a money perspective. But I like my favorite 2 videos in recent years is when I did Slowly Then All at Once, super serious kind of doomer economic video, and then right after that I did Harry Potter Quidditch. That's my favorite back to back. That's my favorite back to back I've ever done. It was Chef's Kiss. That's my dream YouTube content week. Is like when you could have that into me wearing a full Harry Potter cosplay and like failing to catch a snitch and a guy being like, and I'm getting my mic off. It was perfect. It's a perfect double video. And so I'm always trying to get that balance because then you get a community of people that aren't fucking so goddamn up their own ass, but it's not all slop. So it's a possible challenge. Anyway, I've been thinking about this more lately because I'm trying to plan for next year and all the things I want to do once I'm done with this game. By the way, this game has taken a lot of time from me and way more from Isto. And I'm excited to have it shipped. And, you know, we'll play it, have a good time. Some streamers will play it, we'll have a good time. And then I want to focus on much other stuff. When does the game come out? 1 week from today. 1 week from today. 1 week from today. And by the way, I should have mentioned this up front. If you purchase the game and beat it, there is a secret post-credit scene with a QR code to download Silksong. That's a fact. But it's customized to your PC, so you have to beat it yourself. But that's a fact. That's a true fact. Okay? That's real. Team Cherry let me do that, so... Sounds made up? What? Why? Would I make that up to sell copies of my game? What? Would I like make up a thing that clearly pushes people to buy a game and then later on claim that, oh, I didn't know, I must not have messed up, there's something wrong with the QR code? No, how would I benefit? Financially? Yes, sure, but what does that mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Guys, it doesn't track. It doesn't track. I mean, now that I've put a question mark in your head, it's like, who knows who's right? Let's just pretend it's true and we'll figure it out later. Do you think the speedrun will be safe for this game? I know that Isto is hosting a speedrun contest for the game. And the ACLU Discord is doing a more local Atrioc community only speedrun fun competition with a little prize and things. So if you're interested in trying to play it fast, I'm sure you'll have people to play it with and share it with, and I'll show them on stream. But it's not like a speedrunning game. It's like, you know, it's fun. It's like, as I said, it's Only Up meets Monkey Ball meets Stanley Parable. It's got funny narration by Sea-Dog. It's got funny little collectible podcasts from me and some guests. And it's got you know, fun Tony Hawk style gameplay. It's good. Anyway. Does it have any Genshin Impact microtransactions? It has me with giant knockers as an anime waifu. Unlockable only if you put in $300 for the battle pass. So it's actually quite a steal. It's actually quite a steal. $500 you get Sea-Dog, also with knockers, and they're even bigger. So how about that? Lots of content provided for sure. Please make a non-bald version. Video games are meant to be an escape from our real life horrors. That's so funny because I was working on the Steam thumbnail today, and I wanted to make sure that the bald guy got front and center. I'm like messing around with it, and I was like, you know, we really got to prioritize this hilarious bald guy. But now I'm worried that it's gonna be a problem for you. We're gonna put a. Why is this feature so small? We thought it was funnier. I think it was an accident at first, then we thought it was funnier. I was like, what if his features are really small on a giant bald head? And I think it really clicks. I just don't want any of that political pro-bald crap. Get politics out of my fucking games. Okay? This fucking pro-bald agenda is in every game nowadays. Hitman, get to work. It's disgusting. Okay? It's disgusting. It's like you can't just shove it in your face. Did you see the McGregor? Yeah, dude. McGregor got convicted of rape, which means he got taken out of, which most importantly means he got taken out of Hitman, which importantly means that my video where I killed Conor McGregor in a speedrun fashion with 1 million views is the last time you can do that. No one can do that now. Sort of views go to the moon. Sort of a heroic moment by me, Linkus, and Stans. He became a villain and moved as a target. Yeah, it is kind of ironic. It's weird because in any other game, it's like, yeah, you should probably take him out. But in Hitman, you're literally killing him. So it's like, it's like, do you really need to take him out? People are going to shoot him with a gun. They're going to blow up. Like, what is the... Is it really such a problem? But I guess he gets money from it. So anyway. I was hoping you guys had a Get Smarter type video I could watch real quick whilst I finish this dinner. And then I have stuff I have like 3 big stories I want to go through. I am going to do a targeting. I think I could do targeting. We're done with the VO. It's about tomorrow's targeting. Maybe it's a wargeting. Is about crypto and how it's fucking back and how there's a lot of weird shit this time. Okay? I don't want to say any more, but don't ask me about any crypto stuff. It's going to be about it's going to be about all the things. Oh, the new Drew Gooden. Let's watch that. About gambling. Yes, I wanted to watch this. The online gambling epidemic. This shit got 1.8 million views in a day. And just before I get into it, I mean, you know, we've talked about this obviously a lot. And it's a serious, serious fucking problem. I know that we joke about gambling all the time, and I assume you guys some of you are doing it, but I hope it's all low limit, affordable. The numbers are undeniable that it is ruining more and more young men's lives than ever before. Specifically young men who are like falling into this gambling trap and you know, little bits of excess capital you have. You know, you save 20 bucks here and there and you think it doesn't matter, but that shit adds up. And then all of a sudden, end of the year, you're out 500, 1,000, whatever. You're out money that like could have started a snowball positively. So, I just want to be clear that I'm going to keep joking about it. It's fun to joke about. I'm not going to be I'm not a prude or whatever. But my sincere and honest opinion is that you should probably stop or quit cold turkey or do $5 limit like my dad does. That shit blows you up. Anyway, let's see what we got here. I don't care. If you do it, you do it. Your call. I saw Drake at XQC gambling and they made a ton of money. So maybe it's all great.
Months ago, to celebrate my friend's birthday, I went on a Victory Casino cruise, and not only did everyone get seasick almost immediately, but we also lost all the money we brought in to gamble with. It was one of the best days of my life. For a good portion of the past century, getting on a boat that reeks of piss and wobbling your way out just far enough into the ocean so that laws don't exist anymore was one of the only ways to legally gamble in the United States. It had such a convoluted barrier of...
Just to show you that I do gamble, last time I was on a cruise with Ari, there was an on-boat craps table. And I stayed up with my brother gambling on the craps table, and Ari went to bed. And then at 2 a.m., I kicked open the door of our cabin. I came in the room and I started making it rain hundreds on her while she was sleeping. I was like, babe, wake up, I won big. It was the most I've ever won at playing craps. I'm sure I've lost it all back many times over in Vegas, but on that boat, I won big and I celebrated hugely. I wonder if she remembers that. Ari! Ari! Babe! I'm not waking her up. She doesn't go to sleep at 7:20. Wait, I'm not stopping until she goes, babe! Come on. It's not that soundproof. Ari! Is she coming? Hey, man, do you remember when we went on that cruise and I won a bunch of money playing craps and then I came into the bed at night and
yes, you're like, it was $1,000, I think, and I was like sleeping. I was like, what? That was the Mediterranean cruise.
That was very fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
He's talking about it, so I'm just like...
Talking about what?
Like gambling on a cruise.
Oh, yeah.
But you weren't mad about it.
No, of course not. Why would I be mad?
Yeah, I don't know. Chat's like...
Whatever gets you out of my hair, you know what I'm saying?
That's not... I wasn't out of your hair. I was in the bed. I was tossing money around.
No, I mean, like, if you, like, go gamble and I'm doing my own thing, like,
I
like that.
Oh, you were sleeping is what you were doing.
Yeah, I, like, went to go, like, have fun dinner and then, like, went to bed. I don't remember. It was, like, in 2017.
It was a while ago.
It was a long time ago.
It was a while ago. Anyway, just want to reminisce on that story. All right, back in. The old ball and chain. She's doing Facebook jokes.
Entry that most people could go their entire lives without ever being tempted to do it. Just don't go to Nevada and you'll probably never see a casino. In 2024, this is no longer the case.
Only on FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Prize Picks,
Underdog, Hard Rock Bet,
Daily Bet,
PointsBet,
ESPN Bet, 365. Smack me in the mouth with all of
If you watch any sports at all, ads for sports betting have become inescapable. Even if you muted every commercial and closed your eyes until the game came back on, it's still plastered everywhere. DraftKings promos pop up in the middle of a play, there's BetMGM billboards behind home plate, FanDuel logos on the court, on the microphones. They come at you from every angle, pepper spraying you in the face so you don't notice they just pulled your pants down. They've made it so watching sports and betting on sports are just two sides of the same coin. Like, you can't have one without the other. It's become so normalized that it might be easy to forget that gambling can be kind of bad, actually. About 10 million people
Don't agree,
in the
never
US
have.
alone struggle with gambling in some way, a good portion of which are under the age of 25. Gambling addicts attempt suicide at a rate 15 times higher than the general population. The average debt of a gambling addict can range from $15,000
Jesus.
to $90,000. But
Well, I'm sorry. The average debt generated by a man addicted to gambling is between 55K and 90K. Women gamblers average 15K. I'm sorry to laugh at that, but that is funny. That's a skill issue, women. Get your parlays up. You're playing small stakes. That's rookie numbers, women. Literally and figuratively no balls. I'm sorry, but you got to bet big to win big, or in this case, real life, lose big, massively, dangerously.
where most people would see this as a problem, a few people saw it as an opportunity. All that extra money that could be siphoned from struggling families and into the pockets of like 12 CEOs and...
Someone said gambling glass ceiling. I like to... Fictional woke casino CEO who's determined to make sure women lose as much as men. It is my mission of equality to make sure that women go out there and lose just as much thousands of dollars, life-ruining amount of money as men. I won't rest.
We're not doing that
Pink slot machine.
because... So in 2018, the Supreme Court overruled the federal ban on sports betting. And since then, Americans have collectively lost over $245 billion on it. That's almost $1,000 per person, and that number was from last year. But the bombardment of playful advertising filled with famous celebrities would make you think it's just...
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Collectively, as a nation, we lost $1,000 per person. It was a $1,000 per person transfer from regular people to casinos. They changed the law, and every American on net is $1,000 poorer, and the casinos are $245 billion richer. That is a crazy law to change. Collectively, as a nation, we're due. That's true. That's true. We're $245 billion down, but if we lock the fuck in, we actually could, we're gonna hit, and we're gonna hit big. I mean, we've lost $245 billion in a row. There's money to be made. We could pay off the national debt. What's funny is we couldn't. It's like not even close. We could win $245 billion 10 times. And we didn't even make a dent. I would make a small dent, but let's not.
It's a harmless, fun game you can play on your phone. Kevin Hart, Post Malone, Chris Rock, LeBron James, Kevin Hart, Peyton Manning, Jamie Foxx, Eric Andre, Patton Oswalt, Vanessa Hudgens, the guy from that Kendrick Lamar song, Kevin Hart. Even the Talk Tua podcast is sponsored by Better. Why is it always the people you trust the most?
You don't need to know everything about every sport.
Good, because I don't.
Yeah, me either. All you need is a feeling and a phone.
Oh my gosh, I want
That is...
All right, he's gonna make fun of it, so I'm not gonna shoot. But that's such a manipulative ad. You don't need to know facts. Don't feel any pressure. You don't need to know anything. Just a feeling and a phone, and money you could be partying in this awesome.
Such a bold way to advertise your product. You don't have to know anything about sports in order to bet on them. In fact, we would prefer you didn't. Look, this guy's just chilling in a hot tub. He doesn't even know what sport he bet on, and he won money. So go ahead, just open the app and start mashing buttons. I don't know, like, where do you think they got all the money to shell out to these celebrities? Could it be that maybe Prize Picks isn't the secret game?
Could it be, Drew Gooden, that maybe the celebrities just love gambling? Maybe they really like it and they want to share it with the people. Maybe they did it for free. Do you ever think about that? Maybe Kevin Hart just fucking loves gambling and wants you to enjoy it the way he does. Maybe they're already rich and they don't care. They already got off all the money from gambling and they want you to join them.
Gateway to riches beyond my wildest imaginations, and maybe they're just trying to get my debit card number so they can take all my disposable income. Whether or not you think sports betting should be illegal, and I'm not even necessarily saying it should be, the fact that they're allowed to advertise it like this is fucking insane. Imagine a cigarette commercial that was like, "Oh my god, this tastes so good. This is the best I've ever felt in my life. I'm on top of the world." Typically, the only tobacco ads you see are like anti-vaping PSAs. And I hope there's a future where advertising for betting apps is regulated in a similar way. You can still bet on sports. You can still smoke cigarettes if you want to. It's not illegal, but you're not bombarded with the temptation to do it every time you turn on a basketball game. Even though it's only been 6 years since the federal ban on sportsbooks was overturned, technology has already evolved well beyond what was available at the time. And now that gambling has gone from being in a place you have to go to do it to being accessible on your phone at any moment, there's no...
Yeah, that's the big change. Now that it's on phones and you can hook people while they're young, it's just a lifelong tax at best. At best, they gamble like amounts they can afford to lose, and it just taxes them for the rest of their life for this hobby they're not going to ever lose. But at worst, they go a little too deep and suddenly they're thrown off course for their, financially forever. America's gotcha.
Nothing's stopping these apps from trying to lure you in constantly, and they're really good at doing that.
Addiction is intensified, he says, by how much the gambling companies know about each user. That data was used to tailor offers and push notifications to keep the guy in action.
They knew the life stage, the customer life stage it was at, so win back, they described it. So people that have given up gambling for a while and they're trying to get them to come back.
Just by using these apps, you're giving them data about your gambling habits, which they can then weaponize against you. If they realize around 2 p.m. every Sunday is when you're most likely to interact with the app because you're watching 19 games at once and you're starting to get a little restless, they can tailor make a push notification just for you. Maybe they'll boost the odds.
Hey, I know he's making fun of this, but isn't this kind of sweet in a way? You know, they care so much. They like want to know about you and you specifically. And in a way, isn't it kind of like in this crazy fucked up world, nice? You know, there's a gambling executive out there who really cares about you personally. He wants to send you a text when you're feeling down. It's nice to know they care, you know?
Of a third quarter Tyreek Hill touchdown, or they'll show you a parlay that 50,000 other people have bet on, and that many people can't all be wrong. Let's talk about parlays for a second, because I think that's one of the biggest contributors to the exponential rise of sports betting.
It's parlay time.
Put simply, a parlay is when you combine multiple bets into one bet, significantly decreasing the odds of it hitting, but massively boosting the payout you'll win if it does. It's basically the difference between winning a few dollars for correctly calling one coin flip, or winning thousands of dollars if you can get that coin to land on heads 12 times in a row. You're so distracted by the possibility of how much you could win that you're not even considering the fact that you definitely won't. Parlays are the lottery ticket of sports betting, and these apps have made it so easy to make one whenever you want. The only thing stopping you from putting together a parlay that frankly doesn't even make sense is your own imagination. Because of parlays, I think for a lot of people, gambling has become death by 1,000 paper cuts. Maybe instead of losing a lot of money all at once, you're just losing a little bit of money all the time. Sometimes you'll even lose money in a way that feels like you almost won. 5 out of 6. I was so close, but that means I'll definitely win next time. My only personal experience with online sports betting was a couple years ago when I saw Underdog Fantasy was offering to match your first deposit up to $100. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. I watch a lot of football. Maybe I can finally make back some of the money I've spent over the years supporting my stupid, shitty team. So I put in $100. They doubled it. And slowly over the course of the next 2 months, I lost $25 every week until it was all gone. Now, if I'm being honest, I think this was actually best case scenario for me. I consider myself lucky that the few times I've tried.
That's what happened to me the first time I tried a slot machine. It was at an airport. I put $100 into a slot machine. I pressed the button. I lost money. I pressed the button. I lost money. I pressed the button. I lost money. I did that 60 times in a row. I never won 1 cent, and I cashed out 0. I just pressed the button and it spun till I got nothing. And basically it was 8 minutes and they took they robbed me of $100, what it felt like. That's what it felt. It felt like somebody took $100 out of my wallet at gunpoint at the airport. Even though I voluntarily did, I felt like I got robbed. And so I never did slots after that. I still do craps and everything, but like that was such a bad experience. I've never done slots. What a rush those 8 minutes were. It wasn't even a rush. It was so basic. You know, once you've played video games, how can you enjoy the lights and sounds of a slot? It's not nearly as brain gripping as League of Legends.
Tried gambling, it hasn't gone well for me because I have no positive association.
It's like, I think that kind of the lights and colors of slot machines only works on boomers who don't play video games. Because their brains are still, it's still fresh enough that it's like, that it captures them. But once you fucking, wasted hundreds of hours in League and Minecraft and everything else like that, it didn't do anything for me. It was so boring, and I just got my money taken. I didn't get anything out of it.
With it. In the same way that I have no desire to.
But then someone says XUC, and I'm like, all right, you got me. That's a total counterpoint to my argument because XUC does it all day and also has played many, many games. But I will say his slots look more intense than the one I was doing at the airport in Vegas.
To smoke cigarettes because the first time I did, I smoked 2 back-to-back.
Imagine playing against Hue and then dumping $20 on a slot. Dude, could you imagine if I could put $20 into a slot machine and play 1v1 Fizz versus a random opponent in mid lane. First blood cashes out. That's a skill. That's like Pokemon. It's a skill-based thing. It would need to be, yeah, it would need to be random. I don't know. That's just a fighting game arcade, but that would be fun as shit. I would get hooked on that.
For some reason and was nauseous the rest of the night. I have no desire to gamble because I've only ever lost money doing it. So even though Underdog managed to get $100 out of me, I actually think they would have preferred if I won a little bit first. When betting apps give out these kind of introductory offers, it's not just so they can get a bunch of free money, although that's definitely part of it. They're trying to create a customer for life.
Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. $5 get $200 back. $250 up to $500.
Up to $2,000.
Online sportsbooks know that the best way to get people addicted to their product is to make that first big win as easy as possible. So they'll lure you in with an offer that seems too good to be true because all of that is pennies compared to what they're raking in from the people who are hooked. They give you free money to start with. They'll let you try again if your first bet doesn't work. They'll let you throw in one leg of a parlay that has essentially a 100% chance of hitting. They are desperate to make sure you have a good time. They want every time you see that app icon on your phone to think about the rush you felt when you turned $5 into $100, so you keep chasing that feeling forever. I just managed to outsmart.
Yeah, that's why I say for stocks, you know, some of you get into the whole Wall Street bets Robinhood thing, and if the first trade you make on there is a green one, you're fucked. You want to lose early. Your first time messing around with options or messing around with, you want to lose. Because if you make money on that, you're going to think you're fucking Warren Buffett reincarnated. He's alive, but younger. You're going to think, oh, I've got it figured out. I understand the market on a deeper level. People don't understand it the way I do. And then you're going to punt money until you lose deeply. And then you're going to try and get it all back. It's dangerous. Probably more than sports betting, but certainly more common around 21, 22, you know?
Aren't them by being so unbelievably bad at sports betting that I never even came close to winning. But because I was curious to see how much online sports gambling has evolved since I tried it a couple years ago, and because I would never leave a stone unturned in the pursuit of research, I decided for this video I should try it one more time. So I signed up for the only legal sports book in my home state of Florida, which I assume is named after famous internet sex symbol Hard Rock Nick.
Balls tugged on one by one.
Their introductory offer is that they'll give you another chance to bet if your first one doesn't win. On the surface, that almost sounds like free money, but it's not like you can bet once, lose, and then just take your money back. You still have to give them the money. You're probably just gonna lose twice for the price of one. But hey, check this out. I've already unlocked a 1x multiplier, which means for every dollar I earn, I walk away with $1. I spent the next 12 minutes hard at work concocting the smartest and most guaranteed parlays the world has ever seen. With all my bets placed, I could finally sit back, relax, and enjoy a stress-free Sunday afternoon.
It'd be a funny video if it takes a turn here and he just keeps winning. He just wins and wins and wins thousands and thousands of dollars, and it becomes like the single greatest sports betting ad of all time, where it's like, I want to hate it, but I just keep winning. It's incredible.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Why did I bet on Sam Darnold? Why did I bet on Kirk Cousins? Why did I take the over on Curtis Martin rushing yards? He retired in 2007.
The next few hours felt like a roller coaster, but in spite of it all, I was determined to come out on top.
Guess who has 2 thumbs and just won $9.52? This guy.
Holy shit.
My other thumb's holding the phone.
I was down, but now I'm up.
And since I only lost 5 other bets, I was just $61 from breaking even.
Now I know what you're thinking, Drew. How could you have possibly known the Bills were going to beat a team significantly worse than them? What are you, some kind of genius? No. I prefer savant. The truth is, none of this would have been possible without my good luck charm, Michael McCorkle Jones. You can look it up. That's his real name. Ever since I saw him hit the gritty at the Pro Bowl a few years ago, I knew I needed a metal poster of him to hang up on my wall. And thanks to today's sponsor, Displate, that's finally...
I was like, wait, is this a display ad? The second you hear that metal, That's when you know you're in a displayed ad zone.
It's all right. So I've been using this app for a little over a week now, and even though I did win,
In fairness, display, these are kind of fire. The avatar posters, these are kind of sick. Are they displayed though, or just like actual art? I think these are paper posters. You should put some displays up, bro. Those, I mean, those are cool as hell, but those are not metal.
A few more bets. All I've really managed to do is turn my initial $100 into zero. It's all gone. I think they know they're on the verge of losing me for good because they're really ramping up the notifications. Most days I'm getting at least one every hour. They even offered me another second chance bet.
That's kind of cool though. Like, what if you're like in a social gathering and nobody's talking to you, and you're kind of sitting there, you don't know what to say, and then your phone rings the notification, and you can pull it out, and it looks like you have a friend texting you, but really it's just your gambling app asking you to put more money in for a parlay. That's kind of cool, you know? It's like a fun life hack. Like, you should sign up for as many gambling apps as possible, so you seem like you're constantly getting notifications from people that want to talk to you. You look very popular.
This time up to $500. They are so confident based on everything I've shown them so far that it seems they're willing to give me any amount of money because it doesn't matter, I'm just going to lose it all anyway. Even in my very limited time using this app, I can already see the traps they're setting for me, and I am falling for them. For some reason, I've done multiple parlays that are contingent upon something happening at the beginning of a game. They offer a bunch of bets that are based on first quarter stats, and I realized firsthand why they do this. Because that one leg can cook your entire parlay immediately. But at that point, you've already committed to betting on this game, and there's so much more game to bet on. So you do. And before you know it, you're betting on Keyshawn George to make 5 threes? Why did I do that? I don't even know who that is. Why did I think Jake Paul was gonna knock out Mike Tyson? That fight was never ending in a knockout. They punched each other like 4 times. Yeah. Obviously, they were just in it for the money, and I knew that going into it. I only did this bet because they boosted my odds, and they only boosted my odds because they knew it wasn't going to happen anyway. It's 2024. How am I still getting scammed by Jake Paul? And on the flip side, when I do win a bet, sometimes I'm not even that happy about it because I'm just like, I should have bet more. You start getting carried away doing the math. I turned $10 into $30, but I could have turned $100 into $300, $1,000 into $3,000.
Oh my God, dude, this is why you want to play blackjack, you know? You play blackjack and then you finally get the fucking blackjack, but you're like, oh, I didn't bet big on that hand, and you feel almost worse. You feel almost, it's like you feel like you wasted it. It sucks. Did you know the reason these, they study people's brains, this is during slot machines, but it applies to all these games. The reason they're so addicting is because you get the pleasure reward, not from winning, but from the anticipation. It's when you pull the lever, or when you say hit me, or when you, oh my, I got camera frozen. Fuck, I was really spitting there for a second. I was cooking, and now I'm, I was cooking, bro. They're trying to silence me. It's a fucking big casino. Anyway, what I was saying is, you don't get the pleasure from the win. You get the pleasure from the moment before you find out whether you won or lost. From when you pull the lever, from when you flip the car, when you say hit me. And so because of that, it's like it's what makes casinos work. Because you can get addicted without them having to actually give you enough money to win. If like winning and losing were equally happy and sad, people would lose more than they win and give up. But the problem is you get a lot of joy just from the thinking you might win. And so they can keep you hooked on forever. That's like the psychological trick that lets it work. So, you know, just know that going in. Know that the rush you're getting of dopamine is coming because you think, oh, I might win this. Like when you click the button for the parlay, it's like, this could happen. And you get a rush of joy. That's where the joy is coming from. So just don't click it. Just like think about it and then close it. You got 90% of the experience.
My God, it's infinite money. And I think that's one of the most dangerous things about gambling is that sometimes it works. It's a hobby that technically could go well for you if you get very lucky and quit at the exact right time, which you won't, and the casinos are banking on the fact that you won't. Problem gamblers aren't just chasing a feeling, they're chasing this idea that maybe they'll win the lottery. A lot of gamblers can recognize that they have a problem, but see the problem as the way out of the problem.
I think the feeling at the time was, if you can just get lucky here somewhere, then potentially there's a way of making this all go away. I suppose the flip side to that as well, Aaron, is it was enabling me to just gamble as much as I wanted as well.
If I just have one good day, I can win it all back. Yes, I've dug this huge hole for myself, but if I just keep digging, I might be able to find that diamond I've been desperate.
I mean, that is the true soul crushing part of it, is like, you know, especially if like you're already in like tougher times financially, you know, scraping enough extra money to like build into something that you can do something with is hard. It's difficult because life gives you a bunch of little things to try to take your money away. You know, you'll have a car repair, something's going to come up and it's going to take it away. And so it's already hard. But then when you get into a hole from gambling, your mind is like, it's going to be so fucking hard. And then you want to give up. And the only way that's easy is the gambling. It's like now instead of like scraping and saving what you were going to do before, you have to do it twice as hard because you have this gambling hole. So yeah, it is self-perpetuating. It's fucked up. And this image is very funny. I mean, this is the classic. This is the classic. I gotta be honest with you. This image is a joke and it's designed to make fun of this person, but I have it in my mind when I am gambling, and it does cause me to do one more bet at the minimum. like this image has worked against its original intention because I truly do picture that diamond. The problem with this image, well, I mean, that's the point of this image, but the problem is the diamonds look so good. They're so close. It's so tantalizing. He really is such a fool for turning around. It's right there. They're just, it was like such wild wealth. And so I do want them.
Desperately searching for. But the sad reality is, even if you find the diamond, you're just gonna feel so good doing it that you'll probably dive right back into the mines looking for another one.
The truth is, if I'd have had that big win, I would have just spent it anyway.
A lot of the higher-ups at these companies will refuse any responsibility for creating new gambling.
By the way, that guy just said that, but at least 40% of you thought over the scenario in your head and said, nah, I'd stop. I want you guys to know you're wrong, okay? A lot of you just said, nah, I'd be different. I'd get the big win and I'd get out of the debt and I would stop. No, 100%, you would not, okay? So don't fucking insta. This is the, you know how every few years someone will make a movie about a terrible fucking greedy guy on Wall Street, like the movie Wall Street, or like Wolf of Wall Street, or Boiler Room, or whatever, and they'll make the guy follow an arc where they're kind of middle class or broke, then they get super rich and they have the nice car and the hot girlfriend and everything's going great, and then their life will turn into greed and sadness and devolve. And every generation of people, especially young men, watches these movies and goes, nah, I just wouldn't do that second half. They just watch it and they completely ignore the message of the movie because they go, I would just not do that part. I'll do the good part and it'll be easy. And it's like the point is that it corrupts and it will happen to you just like anyone else, but you're not in that zone, so you think you'll cash out. Everyone just thinks they're different than humans just like them that came before them.
addicts over the past few years. They'll make the argument that they're just addicted to their phone and our app just happens to be on it.
I don't believe that there is an addiction to mobile betting any more than there is an addiction to utilization of your phone for any other reason.
You don't think adding a layer of betting makes the phone more addictive than just tooling around Instagram?
No. There is problem gambling. It is a real problem. Whether it's...
No, I don't. No. Smiley face. I'm a good person. What I do is not deeply, deeply corrupt. No, smiley face. This is like the fucking tobacco executives. You think cigarettes cause cancer? No. Nope. We thought about it, but nope. There's no problem. If they cause cancer, why would doctors smoke them? Nope.
Gotten bigger, or it's just become more noticeable because sports betting is legal, I think is an unknown.
That's the classic. That is the classic lobbyist / lawyer for a amoral industry is just stall. Just the classic. It's an unknown. We can't know. The research is out. Let's take a few decades and we'll try to get to the bottom. We'll get a study commissioned. We'll pay for it. Actually, we'll pay for it. Don't worry, we'll pay for it. We'll get a study commissioned and we'll get to the bottom of this by 2045. For sure. By then, I'll be retired and very, very wealthy. And it'll be someone else's problem.
Really?
Hey, they'd be gambling anyway, whether it's on our app that sends 30 push notifications a day and is linked to their bank account, or only available in a state on the other side of the country, is totally irrelevant. And while there are obviously some people for whom that is true, you cannot deny the fact that making it so goddamn easy to bet anything at any time is leading to more people gambling who wouldn't have otherwise. You're dangling a piece of candy inches away from people's faces and then saying, hey, it's not our fault they grabbed it. They still would have grabbed it even if it was 2,000 miles away. Since this is all still relatively new in the US, maybe we'll see more legislation in the future to combat this avalanche. In some countries, they no longer allow celebrities to appear in sportsbook ads, or they've banned the ads from appearing during sporting events altogether. America is still in this Wild West infancy where all these apps are just scrambling to find a way onto your phone before regulations start kicking in. But maybe in the future? Nah, I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to imagine that happening. I think it's too late to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
America famously is a country that's very, very good at regulating things that make a lot of money. Very, very good. We are notorious at finding industries that have hugely wealthy incumbents and saying, no, you can't keep making this money.
The leagues are making too much money off it already. Of course they want to shove betting apps down everyone's throats. It gives people more of a reason to watch the games, especially bad ones. While most people would turn off a 20-point blowout in the fourth quarter, you're still glued to the screen because you need CeeDee Lamb to get 12 more yards for your parlay to hit. They've figured out a way to make every moment matter, even if it doesn't.
You want to make every game interesting? Step one, open the BetMGM Sportsbook. You know what to do.
It's not just sports, though. It seems like these
That's
days
ominous.
you can gamble on absolutely anything. You can bet on celebrity breakups. You can bet on which White Lotus character will return in Season 3. You can bet on the presidential election. And oh my God.
This is crazy. I mean, you know, the incentives to cheat are so high. You know, what if the writer for White Lotus is at a cafe near me or something and I overhear? Or they just tell a friend and that friend makes a massive bet.
Return in Season 3. You can bet on the presidential election. And oh my God, so...
Wait, writers aren't getting enough money in Hollywood, right? That's why they struck? What if the solution to every underpaid worker is that they have to use their insider knowledge to make extra money gambling? So writers can gamble on the shows they write for, and like teachers can gamble on which of their students will graduate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if everybody can gamble, we can find a way for everyone to make money. This is a good idea. To make up for DVD sales. Yeah, exactly.
Many people did. Hundreds of millions of dollars were tied up in political bets this year, and if that's not indicative of a nationwide gambling epidemic, I don't know what is. But I'll admit, I'm a little
It's knowing that the biggest winner of the American election gambling epidemic was a Frenchman. That kind of just pisses me off. Just a fucking nerdy analytical Frenchman who really studies polls made the most money betting on Trump. It's fucked up. It's like a real kick in the teeth. We need to figure out a way to no, it wasn't Mr. It was a guy. There's a data scientist in France who noticed that when you did polls that asked who you thought your neighbor was going to vote for instead of yourself, people were more honest. And they showed a Trump win pretty convincingly. So he made like a $90 million bet on Trump. Dude made absolute bank. And he did it before anyone else. So it was like when it was closer to 50-50, he was the one that started moving the poly market. You have to have 90 million first. I believe he borrowed. So it was quite a big bet. I mean, he had to get staked by other people.
conflicted about this. Because on one hand, gamifying every aspect of our lives only gives more power to those with influence. It creates a financial incentive for spreading deliberate misinformation. It can make you question the motive behind everything you see and hear. But on the other hand, XQC lost $700,000 betting on the election, and that's really fun. If you don't know who XQC is, he's a streamer who, at least in every clip I've seen of him, seems to be speaking a language he invented and no one else can understand. He's also one of the many streamers who've massively increased their wealth over the past few years by taking sponsorships from offshore crypto-based online casinos, helping them and the website they stream it on explode in popularity. At almost any point of any day, you can go to the slots tab on kick.com and see someone who is zonked out of their mind, eyes bloodshot red, 12 hours into non-stop slot spins, desperately trying to win back all the money they've lost so far, oftentimes in a situation so dire that even the chat, with no personal stakes involved and only there for entertainment, is begging them to stop. But they can't. They're on autopilot. Every loss is money that needs to be won back, and every win is just more money to gamble with. I randomly opened this guy's stream one day and watched in real time as he won almost $100,000 and then say this.
95K, that's fucking huge. We're a tenth of the way back.
A tenth? This...
That's so cooked. You're almost there. You're almost there, big dog. You're almost there. I gotta be honest with you, that is good entertainment. I remember watching, must have been Train. I was with Slime and Aiden at the old place, and we would put on Train on the TV and just watch him. There's something beautiful about seeing a man click away $100,000 in an hour and a half. It's crazy. It's like disgusting, but like a train wreck you can't look away. And his name's Trainwreck, so it makes sense.
This dude was down $1 million on Big Bass Bash? Now, to most people watching, it's pretty easy to say, hey man, you should probably quit while you're ahead. No, 100,000 isn't a million, but it's a lot more than zero. The problem is someone in this state of mind isn't capable of seeing it that way. He's not even in Thursday afternoon with the rest of us. He's still on the tail end of Wednesday night. So the rational part of his brain, too subdued to muster anything more than a mumble, asks his chat if he should end it there.
Should we up the bet or leave?
They all scream, of course you should, but it falls on deaf ears. He's yet to stop spamming spins for even a second. This man is no longer in control of his actions. He's a zombie, relegated to the passenger seat of his own mind as it careens towards the conclusion everyone watching knows.
Okay, can I say something a little deep here? This is what, to a lesser degree, all of modern life feels like in some way. It's fucked up, but it feels like every single thing in our phones and TV and games and porn and everything, it's all fucking trying to get your brain into this stupid, dull trance where you have no meaningful frontal cortex activity over your actions, over like what you're just trying to like. Anyway, that is obviously not to this degree by any measure, but it's like everything is trying to become more gambling-like, I guess I'll say. Like they see this and think this is a good thing for every single news app, your email, everything to be like, and it's fucked up.
Is inevitable, but there's nothing he can do to stop the momentum.
I have to quit at a certain point. I have to give up. At a certain point, I gotta give up. Oh my god. At a certain point, I gotta give up. Dude, that dog demolished the balance. Oh my god. That's crazy. Lost over $1 million today.
That's fucking crazy.
All he can do now is sit in the reality of what just
fucking
happened.
Crazy.
Dude.
Come to terms with the fact that despite his...
Bro, his wall's all fucking destroyed. He lost $1 million. $1 million. That's so rough, dude. You guys think it was a skill issue? You think if he spun the correct way, he'd actually be... No, that actually makes a lot. I was almost gonna take the lesson away from this that gambling was bad, but now I'm realizing it's just like bad gambling is bad. It's fine to gamble as long as you know what you're doing and you bring the fucking skill. You can't just spam click it. You have to think about it. It's good stuff. Good lesson.
Come to terms with the fact that despite his and everyone else's better judgment, he got doghouse.
Doghouse is what did it. Dude, doghouse is what defeated me. I got doghouse. I got dog.
Bro, he's taking it surprisingly well. He's taking it surprisingly well. To lose $1 million to a cartoon dog spin, I got doghouse, is crazy. Is crazy.
Doghouse. I got a full doghouse. Full doghouse, dude. Full doghouse. Full fucking doghouse, dude. Dude. I got doghouse.
Did I just watch this guy ruin his life?
I don't know, actually. The thing is, it's hard to take streams like this at face value. There's a very well-documented history of streamers on Kick high-stakes gambling with money that was given to them by the website they're playing on. So not only are the stakes not high, but it's technically not even gambling. It's just promotion. The entire goal of these streams is just to make the people watching them think they too can go win life-changing money on asscoin.com. So maybe this is all bullshit. Maybe the only real thing about these streams are the holes he punched into the wall behind him. Maybe he'll miraculously be back in a couple days with a suspiciously large balance after seeming to lose everything. But clips like this are just the flip side of an online ecosystem currently doing everything it can to convince impressionable teenagers scrolling through TikTok and YouTube shorts that gambling is awesome, actually, and you gotta start doing it.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Bang, 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 bang. a great feeling, man.
Bro had a feeling it was coming. It's so funny. Yeah, this is all fucked.
That's a great feeling, man.
Now, some people have accused these websites of rigging the odds in favor of the streamers, so it's easier for them to farm these clips. And as far as I'm aware, there's no proof of that. I think the misrepresentation of odds here is simply due to the fact that these websites can just keep depositing money into their accounts whenever they lose, giving them unlimited funds to play with.
Unless Rubet's gonna give me free money, I think that's like actually it. We really just need Howie to give us a ton of free money.
If you're given infinite money, you can just keep betting until you hit a jackpot. For them, there's no such thing as rock bottom, a philosophy that very much does not translate to real life. In real life, you can hit rock bottom, and when you do, there's no texting Howie to get yourself out of it. What's especially concerning about these kinds of streams is that while sports betting apps are at least targeting mostly grown men, the majority audience for a lot of these streamers are teenagers and young adults. People whose brains have not finished developing yet. People who would have a harder time distinguishing between entertainment and real life, and have less of an ability to evaluate risk compared to people much older than them. It is statistically proven that people who are exposed to gambling at a young age are more likely to develop problems with it later in life. So maybe don't do this. Is that too much to ask?
Now, there are a few different types of gambling streamers. There are the ones like Aiden Ross, who have been very transparent about the fact that money is the only thing that matters to them, and there's no line they would be unwilling to cross in pursuit of it. Then there's streamers like Steve Will Do It, who admitted in an interview with CoffeeZilla that the only reason he started taking these sponsorships was because he used to have a gambling problem, and it was a way for him to continue to gamble without having to use his own money. In other words, he knows from personal experience the harm a gambling addiction can cause, but he has no problem promoting that
Do you know
to
what's
other people.
fucked up, though? This is a fucked up thing about human brains. Is like, I am more mad at this guy. This guy at least goes on CoffeeZilla and he like has some sort of rationale and admits weakness. And this guy's like just blatant, you know, Aiden Ross is just blatant about it. Just a pure scumbag about it. But because our brains, it's like he's being honest in a way. So it's like, yeah, okay. It's hard to stay mad at him. But it's fucked up. It's just worse. They're both bad, but that's just worse. But I don't know. It's fucked up that it works that way. I want to be madder at him and like have some understanding for it. Mad at both, but I don't know. It's fucked up. It's fucked up the way that like authenticity, fake or otherwise, shines through.
As long as it's not his money they're losing. But then there's also plenty of streamers that don't seem to think they're doing anything wrong. They put their head in the sand and make excuses because the money's too good for them to turn down. Take Nick Merckx, for example. Nick gets pretty defensive when people question the fact that he spends 1 week out of every month spinning slots on kick.com. Oh yeah, man, sorry. Forgot a bunch of children watch my streams. Like, dude, you've spent the past 6 years streaming Fortnite and Call of Duty. If you don't think the majority of your audience is young men, I don't know what to tell you. And don't even get me started on Drake. I know a large portion of his audience is underage because those are the people he's trying to fuck.
So while obviously these websites who use decentralized currency and are based out of a small island country with laughably loose gambling restrictions in order to skirt federal
It's fucked up that Drake does it almost most of all to me because it's just sheer greed. It's like Drake has so much money. Drake has so much money before this. He'll have so much money. It's so greed. It's so greedy. It's so greedy. It's like if Jeff Bezos streamed on Kick. It's like to get a fucking deal. Why, dude? Why? You have actually hit a level of wealth. I mean, Drake's not a billionaire, but he's got a $500 million record contract plus other sponsorship. He's close to $1 billion. It's not. He doesn't need the money for anything ever. It's crazy.
regulations are mostly to blame for the damage they've caused. These celebrities and streamers who've helped popularize them are very much complicit. When you build an audience online, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mr. Beast doing crypto pump and dumps. Mr. Beast, you have an infinite money generating scheme called YouTube. Why? Why do you also have to do crypto pump and dumps? I don't get it. I don't get it, bro. Ugh. I don't know.
There is a parasocial element to it. There are people in your fan base who look up to you and trust you, and every time you sell something to them, you are leveraging that parasocial relationship in order to financially benefit. And I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect.
Sorry. Just need a moment to take a sip of my Huel. Sorry, it goes down smooth. Anyway, back to the video. Back to the video.
I sell merch, I have sponsors, I just did an ad read like 3 minutes ago. But my God, I feel like the bare minimum with the sponsorship is, does this product actively hurt the people that use it? Yes? Then I'm not gonna do that. I get that it can sting to turn down a lot of money, and if the numbers people have floated around are accurate, it is a stupid amount of money. But for some of these people who could already live 10 full lifetimes without ever having to worry about bills ever again, when is it enough? It's just crazy to me. It's like, thank you to everyone who supports what I do. You've given me my dream job, this life of luxury I'm so lucky to have. And in return, I give to you a crippling addiction. Sorry, I wanted to buy a house in Mexico.
We got another place because you can't do it in America. You have to go somewhere else. So we went somewhere else and we got another place.
Call me dramatic, but I'm a little concerned.
That's kind of funny. Everyone in chat spamming duh.
I wanted to buy a house in Mexico.
We got another place.
Woo! No.
You have to go somewhere else. So we went somewhere.
Let's go! Let's fucking go!
Call me dramatic, but I'm a little...
You got a second place! That's my goat!
Concerned where this is all headed. People like to talk about iPad babies who are burning all their dopamine receptors before they even reach preschool. But what is a slot machine if not just a giant iPad? Scientifically engineered to be as mesmerizing as possible so you don't even realize what you're letting it take from you.
$1,000 in fast spins at $50 a spin. Look at that, 190.
We don't understand what I'm saying. What my point was earlier is that slot machines are behind the technology used on iPads. Kids will see a slot machine and get bored because it's not nearly as addicting as fucking Cocomelon and whatever gotcha game they're on, dude. It's slot machine technology is dated. Monopoly Go makes slot machines look like fucking baby food, dude.
$94,000 grand. That thing is due. Oh, well, that's $1,000.
Gambling can be addictive enough on its own even before you add in all this social pressure. The transition from casual gambler to full...
I'm sorry, what was this? Watching a movie while your machines are on auto spin. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Two machines auto spinning while you sit there and watch a movie on your phone is so funny. Because the implication is that you think these are money generating machines. Like if you're not even taking part in it, if you're not even getting the joy of, it's like you are thinking that somehow more time will equal more profit. It's not. They didn't make a machine that's passive income for you. That's crazy. It's
own even before you add in all this social.
My fucking camera, dude. My fucking camera. I'm on top of the world. Hey. We're back.
Pressure. The transition from casual gambler to full-blown addict can happen so gradually, a lot of people don't even realize it's happened to them until it's too late. And when everyone around you, from celebrities in commercials to all your favorite streamers, are just making it seem like it's no big deal, it's fun, everybody does it, can you truly recognize the seriousness of what you're getting yourself into? I think all we can really do for the time being is try to fight back against the normalization of gambling. So what do you say we all get together and call a timeout? What's that? They already tried that for hate.
We need to stop it.
So let's take this moment
To change the momentum.
and call a timeout
On hate. Together. Together.
And it's not working?
I thought hate would be over. Damn it. Can we try it again? Can we try it again, folks? Let's get a T. Let's get a time on this one. A time on hate and a time on not necessarily
Even
gambling.
though they got Shaq. Well, that's not good. That was kind of the only idea I had. Gambling is not new. For as long as there's been man, there's been the primal desire to bet it all on red. But what is new is the way technology has evolved to prey on these urges in the most efficient and targeted ways possible. Using AI to send push notifications at the precise moment they know they're most likely to be open. Using a constantly evolving algorithm to offer bets that are so time sensitive you have to commit to it before you even have a chance to think about.
What if I don't have anyone to watch the game with, and the DraftKings app creates an AI best friend that likes all the same teams as me and sends me funny little text updates about the players and what's going on, and then occasionally is like, hey, you want to do a quick bet on... That'd be like a really fun idea. So it's like constantly texting me about sports I like and things I like, and then subtly implying that I should make different... You're legit giving them ideas. Believe me, they've had this idea. Once they can do it, they'll do it. And your AI friend lets you borrow money? Yeah, the AI friend is hooked up to the back end of the promo system, so you can borrow money from them. And also it learns your psychological profile. So if it's the type of person that like responds more to bullying, then they'll start to bully you a little bit and like push you into it. And if you respond more to like encouragement, they'll encourage you. They'll just find different little weaknesses in your psyche to constantly push you into doing more betting than you thought was possible. Awesome. Awesome. This is how you sold graphics card? Yeah. This is our NVIDIA pitch meetings to sell the 3090. The technology wasn't there yet, but finally they can make it happen when gambling.
About it. These apps didn't invent gambling addiction, they've just made it more accessible. You combine all of that with a system in which most people aren't paid nearly enough money for the amount of work that they do and might see gambling as one of the only ways out of that situation, only to end up exacerbating their problems, and you end up with the unmitigated economic disaster we're in now. Forgive me for using the C word, but we've stumbled into this stage of capitalism where every dollar must be profited by any means necessary, and foregoing any chance to do so would simply be seen as a missed opportunity.
I thought our economy was good. I don't understand what Drew Gooden's talking about. I thought the headline said the economy was good. That people are starting more businesses than ever. Bro, I saw this... Alan Lichtman told me in the Keys that the economy was good. Alan Lichtman told me the economy was good in the Keys, so they can't. I saw this tweet on, or this skeet on Blue Sky today. This guy's, you know, everyone on there is so fucking nice. And so it's hard for me to fit in because I'm used to Twitter, which is like going from prison to a, I don't know, a school cafeteria or something. I gotta like protect my food. And this guy goes, "We live in amazing times." And 1,000 likes, and it's like, I look at this chart and it's so fucking obvious that Americans didn't suddenly get more entrepreneurial right here. It's like, this is when they launched PPP loans, so people made fake businesses to fraud the government, and this is all Uber and OnlyFans single-person startups as they are getting shoved out of the workforce. It's like, what? But on Blue Sky, it's like, yes, dude. It's just so beautiful. This is incredible. So I just tried to like say it without being rude. Anyway, I'm trying to start. If you have any finance or geopolitical discussion you want to do on Blue Sky, tag me in it. Because all I see is Stardew Valley posts and shit. My feed on there is no good. But I'm trying to use it more because I'm annoyed with all the bots and the fucking dog shit on Twitter. And I think this could be a better platform, but I need to have interesting things. Like, I'm just looking at what's on Blue Sky. I'm not seeing anything. I'm just not seeing anything that's not. It's all too nice. But maybe there's some parts of it I'm not seeing. You know. Anyway, let's watch the end of this. If there's anything left.
Opportunity. Advertisements in between the game? Not enough. Now they're a part of the game. A mini fridge in the hotel that I can store my leftovers in? No, we should be filling every square inch of that thing with $12 Coke cans that'll automatically charge your credit card even if you're just moving one out of the way. A YouTube outro that's just a few seconds of peaceful music and no call to action? You wish, bozo. Please go listen to the song I made with my friend Sam. I wrote the guitar for it and I think it's pretty good. Thanks for watching.
Wow! This guy's just as bad as the casinos. Jesus Christ, no one will give us a break. Jesus Christ. Sellout. Fucking sellout, dude. You and XQC are the same. Gambling is one thing, but art? Exactly. At least with gambling, I get joy out of it. I can't appreciate art. Hexus, thank you for the 17 months. 12, no, wait, your name is Hexus17, but you only subbed for 12 months. Thank you for the year. Atrioc, check your mentions on Blue Sky. We got it started. Let's see. Let's see what we got it started with. Blue Sky, okay? My mentions. Hey, Atrioc, what do you think of the current economic situation of Stardew Valley? It's very funny. Hee hee ha ha. And if I like it, it'll be part of my first 10 posts, so I'll get more Stardew Valley posts. I think I liked one post with Stardew Valley, and it's all I get. I just get Stardew Valley. I've never even played it. Do you understand that I've never played it? Oh, here we go. The Russian ruble is in steep decline. Interesting. As I mentioned, you know, the thing about war economies is they're great until they ain't. And, you know, Russia's been surprisingly resilient with all the sanctions and everything for the past 2 years. Everyone thought it would be like doom and gloom, but in Moscow, wages went up and everything. But at the end of the day, you're sending men off to die and you're blowing things up. You're spending billions of dollars on things that are used and exploded, and you're sending prime-age men to die. There's no way it doesn't have a knock-on effect in your economy, and it's finally catching up. My understanding is, like, right now there's starting to be some real effects, like inflation on a lot of goods, breakdowns of transport. They've been getting on the oil tariffs. No, the oil tariffs were never a problem. The thing about oil is if you're a big enough producer, no one can sanction you, because you will always find a buyer. Every drop of oil that is taken out of the ground gets sold. Ever. There's always someone that will buy. Any loss of countries you can send to, you make up on price. So yeah, oil sanctions were kind of useless. But everything else, I mean, like, the real thing that's hitting them right now is they're getting sanctioned on the little parts that Western companies make for trains, and Russians can't repair their trains. So they're having all these train derailments and breakdowns. We talked about this already, but my thoughts are it will be immediately expensive for American consumers, and will make our close allies, Canada and Mexico, pissed at us and do retaliatory tariffs. So I don't think they're a good idea. The 10% tariff on China, I can see the value of. Isn't it 35%? No, it's 25. 25 Canada, 25 Mexico. I promise I won't hold it against personally. Bro, you don't live in either one, Quack. It's not going to affect you. Doxed? Guys, I start and end every stream with a credit system that shows my editors' full names and addresses. If you haven't harassed them at their homes by now, that's your fault, not mine. I literally make that part of their job description. There's an older gentleman on our men's fashion subreddit. I just got a modeling gig. It reminds me, did you ever close the loop on the Chinese fashion advice bit you did? If you mean close the loop, get hot enough to impress the Chinese, I didn't do that. I'm still wearing the same sweaters. I didn't get any plastic surgery. I didn't go to Turkey and add more hair. I didn't get lip fillers like they suggested. So I'm still kind of the same. And I'm still wearing, ironic marketing sweaters so they think I'm poor. So I don't think I convinced any Chinese person that I've learned anything, but I did ask Santa for a BBL for Christmas. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We'll see if I can turn this whole body around. Isn't the same sweater you wore? No. If Chad, if you don't know what we're talking about, I went on a Chinese social media. There was a trend where you could ask for looks advice, brutally honest looks advice, and I posted on Little Red Book in China, and I was wearing a sweater that said marketing on it, and they said, "You look poor." They said, "You look poor in that sweater." And then they also said I should get plastic surgery. And I was like, if I'm poor, how can I afford plastic surgery? It doesn't make any sense. And they said, well, they didn't say anything after that. So, anyway, I'm going to China in 2025, so we'll see if they still call me ugly. Or maybe I'll, have a real glow up. Maybe I'll stop in Turkey on the way. Show up to China with a fucking massive head of hair. Possible. Where are you going to visit in China? Xi Jinping's house. I want to visit Xi Jinping's house. Just say hi to Xi. What's up, Beijing? Which house? You think glorious leader Xi Jinping has more than one house? He lives a simple life. He lives an extremely simple life and would never do that. There's a new Almost Friday I wanted to watch with chat. When you have to save the party from Almost Friday. I was saving this to watch with chat. I didn't watch it alone.
See you guys soon. Tonight's gonna be a movie.
Welcome back to
A movie.
with Carlita. Have you ever wondered how people do those amazing hip rolls when they're out dancing? Well, I'm gonna help you figure out how to do it. So, step one is to start with a wide stance. Bend those knees. Take your hips side, back, side, front, side, back, side, front, side, back, side, front, side, back, side, front.
Trump
side,
dance?
Back, side,
That's not a Trump dance. Trump dance is it's all in the fists. It's like it's this. You could say he's skiing or jerking off ghosts, whatever you prefer. And he does the little golf swing. He does the golf swing. He does like the... and then points. And he points. He always points. 3 points.
front, side, back, side, 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 front, side, back, front,
Perfect timing. Hello, my party people! Hi. Marks are in the kitchen. Beer's in the fridge. I'm gonna turn the music up. Okay. We're sleeping at 9, so let's dance! Woo!
I know, so sick. Oh my god, I love this song. Yes. Yes. Hey,
All right.
look, it's really not that hard. We're gonna dance.
I can tell.
Hey guys, can we turn the music down?
No.
Sorry.
Will.
No, it's fine. Sorry, we're just dealing with something right now, so just need a minute.
Let's not turn down the music. Who's turning down the music? Let's not turn the music down. Or what's up?
My teacher from growing up, Miss Nunez, she died today.
Oh shit, Jack, I'm so sorry.
That is awful.
You guys were pretty close?
Yeah, we were really close. You know, when my parents split, she was really the main one that was there for me. She was there for me at every big moment of my life.
I had a teacher just like that. I'm here for you, man.
Yeah, it's so rare to have people like that in your life.
Was she of the elderly age range?
What?
This sweet Nunez, was she of the elderly age range?
Yeah, I guess she was 70, so.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, freaking damn circle of life. Which I hate.
What?
When you came in, I thought it was something potentially unexpected.
Yeah, it was unexpected.
Yes, how death is always unexpected, right? But I just meant more. I thought she burned in like a house fire or something, or a shot.
Sarah.
Not.
Okay, well, dude, we don't have to go out, okay? Let's stay in and watch a movie or something.
We can go home.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
If you want to do that, that's fine. That's okay.
Well, I was just thinking when I like to, some people grieve differently, and maybe you want to go out instead and dance for her tonight. I was just saying when my grandma died, I didn't like freak out. Me personally, I didn't freak out. Like, I would totally get it if you need to go and then, or you go out with us. Because I think we're going by
Yeah, I should go.
Sorry, no. You stay.
Yeah, let's just stay in.
Okay. Yep.
It's always so hard when someone that's super close to you is just gone.
Is the music on?
Yeah. Can we turn the music off maybe, just for now?
I wouldn't even know how that thing fucking works.
Did her family release a statement? Like, what happened?
Yeah, how'd you find it out?
Somebody posted it online. I don't know, I guess I'm just glad that she's at peace.
She's at peace. She's at peace is what I was going to say too. And that's what we have to remember, and what I think would help all of us tonight here collectively move forward is she's at peace. So, yeah. Love you, motherfuckers.
Sarah, the music. Obviously, you're controlling it. Turn it off.
I don't even know where it's fucking coming.
You're literally dancing over to the speaker that you just said you didn't know where it was.
I don't know where it is, okay?
My
I'm just,
fucking camera.
Moving myself.
But I'm laughing.
I should have checked it. God damn it, Sarah, stop turning the music up.
Can we support Jack? Right now, he's sick of us grief.
None of what you're saying is helpful at all.
I'm just saying that sometimes people like to go out, even when it seems like the last thing they want to do. Sometimes you want to go out and move.
Sarah, read the room.
I'm reading the room and it's fucking bumming me out.
Stop dancing.
Is it good?
You know what? We're leaving.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna leave.
No, I'm dancing because there's music on. Okay.
Let's go.
Catch you later.
Come on, let's go.
Wait.
No, it's fine. Come on, we're getting you out of here.
Wait. What is that?
What?
That thing with your hips. What is it? I like that. I like it.
You want me to move my hips?
Yeah, just like that. Faster.
He likes it.
All right, slow down.
Yeah.
Wanna get up? Yeah, come on.
It's still alive.
Just like that, Sarah. Turn the music up, Billy.
Oh, that's powerful stuff. Fireball ad. Miss Nunez. Man, they're killing it. They're doing such varied comedy. It's very funny. POV. Wait, they just had to upload a new short. They just uploaded a short 2 seconds ago. Do the dance?
Yo, Billy.
What up?
I just met your girlfriend, dude.
Oh, awesome. What'd you think?
She's a piece, bro.
What?
She's a diamond. She's so fucking hot, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
God, dude.
Thank you.
If I had
Yeah.
something like that to come home to every day, you'd literally have to peel me off her.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Like
All
you,
right.
you have to get one of those like the scraper, like the what do you call it? The
Paint
what do you call it?
scraper.
Paint scraper. You have to fucking paint scrape me off her, man.
Okay.
You literally would not be able to get me off her.
I heard you.
At all. You could try, but you would not be able to get me off her. No. God, man. Lucky man. Lucky man. I think I might be gay.
What?
Yeah, I think I'm gay. I'm a homosexual.
Why?
Just the way I talk about women, it's not very believable, is it?
Nope.
Because I'm gay.
Twist
I'm gay.
ending.
You want to say it's a statement, or are you going to keep asking?
What do you think? Am I gay?
I think you're gay.
You think I'm? Yeah, I'm probably gay.
That's funny. That's funny. It's a hoot and a half. Did you hear Mark Zuckerberg's acoustic cover of Get Low? Dude, I did, but it's like that is a thing that feels very designed in a meeting to make him as appealing as possible. And it actually was a step too far for me. It was a step too far. It felt too contrived. Dude, I must be brain rotted. You said, did you see Suiji got 5 out of 5? And I thought Suiji was a new item at Costco that got 5 out of 5 booms. I'm not kidding. My first thought was it 5 out of 5 booms. And I was like, wait, what's... That's fucked up. That's fucked up, dude. I read books. I read books every day and I still think that. You can't escape it. It actually rots your brain. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's actually fucked up. That's actually bad. What's this? Old ass NL clip? What's this? Let's see. So that'd be the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Okay. It's from Librarian, and it's him scolding one of his fans like a dog for sending him gifts.
Oh my god.
What? What is it?
It sounds some freaking condoms.
What the fuck? Love fire, new sexual experience, waterproof toys, strong vibration, ultra quiet, soft G-spot, penetration, vibrating vibration.
What up, Ryan and Kate? Name here is Omar, and I hate my fucking life. Just wanted to make sure y'all are safe when you're doing the nasty. I love your guys' content lots, and I have no friends. I hope you enjoy the gift and the other shit I sent.
Omar, what's wrong with you?
Omar! It's not okay, Omar.
Omar, don't do this. Omar, it's awkward.
Omar, I appreciate it.
Dude, I feel so bad for him. I mean, don't do this. Absolutely don't do this. Extremely weird thing to do. I feel bad for Northern Lion. I feel bad for his wife, and I feel bad for Omar. This is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. But it's just funny because I'm picturing Omar, and he's, you know, excited to watch this video because his gift's gonna get open, and the response he's gonna get is not what he's hoping for at all, and he's it's like such a soul crusher.
I'm definitely never gonna use condoms that the internet sends me. This is actually like a sailor's outfit.
Well, open it up. Right, what the heck?
This is they sent me a schoolgirl outfit.
That's not a sailor.
Well, welcome to the last fan mail episode we ever do.
I think it's...
Dude, what year is this? How long has NL been streaming? It's forever, right?
supposed to fit me, not you.
I think you're not making this any better.
Well, I'm saying it says it's for Ryan.
Yeah.
So I thought they were gonna send something to you, not me. But I think it's for me. for me to wear. The sailor's outfit. And then that's a skirt. Hey, it's really soft. Wait, what? Yeah, let me have the skirt. What's your problem, man?
Kate, you don't understand. You don't understand the subtext of the gift.
What's the subtext?
Yo, it's meant to be like a lewd costume.
How is this a lewd costume, Ryan? It's, it's a cosplay, is it not? For like, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was wearing this kind of stuff. Why are you reading the condom?
Hope you enjoy this gift and the other shit I sent. Hope you enjoy this gift and the other shit I sent.
Dude.
Hope you enjoy this gift.
But it's for the Sailor Moon, But this is like way too red. Sailor Moon Crystal Power!
That's funny. That is funny. Atrioc, I've been reading The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Wait, I gotta find something for you. I gotta find something for you. Hold. It's 2024, little bro. Michael Saylor's making $4 billion selling fucking 0% bonds on Bitcoin. Benjamin Graham and fundamental investing no longer apply. Toss that shit in the garbage. Okay? It's Dogecoin to the moon. It's the fucking Trump trade. It's fucking Coinbase and Carvana and zero earnings and fucking PEs of 200. There's no value. There's no intelligent investing. Thanks for asking, though. Thanks for asking. It was a good book. New Royce DuPont. What's this?
Jesus f***ing Christ, man. Jesus Christ. Some lunatic in the lobby just gunned my wife down. Shut up. Everyone shut the f*** up. I need to think. Give me your phone. Give me your phone, asshole. My wife is dead. I need to call my in-laws.
You just won yourself $83.
Did everyone see how I DuPont connected with Michael here? I tricked him into giving me his phone so I could put my contact info onto his... Okay. Everyone take out your textbooks, turn to chapter 12, networking.
That's good. The underrated part of these shorts is the music they use. It's all so funny. It's the perfect fake entrepreneur music. What is this? Poker's greatest tournament run from EMP Lemon, 9 hours ago? Fuck it, let's watch it. Poker's greatest tournament run. That sounds hype. And it's 34 minutes? Perfect.
A standard deck of playing cards can be arranged in a number of ways. In fact, that exact number happens to be 52 factorial, which can otherwise be...
We just watched the whole video on how gambling is bad, and now we're going to watch a video on how poker's great. You got to see fair and balanced. It's called fair and balanced. You need to see both sides. Never accuse me of swaying the vote one way or another. I'm going to give you a fair and balanced take.
Expressed like this, or in standard notation, like this. It's a number so astronomically huge that it would take me a minute to even pronounce the whole thing. The scale of it is mind-boggling, far beyond anything we can hope to visualize with our human frame of reference. It doesn't really make sense how this unfathomable quantity
Yeah, it's a big
manages
number.
to fit neatly inside such a simple man-made object. Depending on how you look at it, a deck of cards might as well contain all the possibilities in the universe. The whims of chance are as tantalizing as they are confounding, something that exists just beyond the realm of our control. If you manage to achieve total mastery over the odds, you could basically do anything you wanted. Anyone who somehow harnessed this elusive power would suddenly gain access to unlimited possibilities. You could dodge bullets, hit every green light, and never lose at Monopoly again. But if we're being honest, you and I both know
I love going with green Simpsons so you don't get flagged.
exactly how everyone would use this ability.
We need that for Shark Tank Reacts. We need to make green Mark Cuban so we can upload more of the episode. I'm sure this could...
They'd immediately go out and buy a winning lottery ticket, hit a
Groovin'.
25-way parlay, and dump everything else into tomorrow's best-performing stock.
Nice.
Because if there's one thing people love to imagine themselves doing, it's getting rich. When given one shot at a lucky streak, the best we could hope to do with it would be to make some serious money. Allow me to introduce you to the star of our story. His name is Chris Moneymaker.
Wait, can I say there's something true to that? Because I've been doing this icebreaker hypothetical, and you can feel free to steal this. I've been doing this icebreaker hypothetical at group events where I ask, you can go into a time machine and go back to any year, and when you come out, you're the richest person in the world for that year. Forever. You're the richest person in the world for that time period. How far back can you go before it's not worth it and you'd rather stay in your own time? It's a good question. So if you go back to like, I don't know, caveman times, it's terrible, right? Even if you're the richest person, it's way worse than your regular life now. But even if you're like a medieval king, really your life is relatively boring compared to now, and you have worse healthcare and worse food access, right? So what most people do is they start out really early and they think about it and they end up saying like the 1990s or the 2000s. Because before that, you don't even have internet, and you know, it's pretty, you know. So it's an interesting thought experiment because it makes you think about things you appreciate in your own life. It's a fun discussion point. However, there is always in every group at least one person who's like, I would go back to, I don't know, you know, the year 1980 and invest in Apple. Right? And it's like, bro, the entire point of the question is you're already the richest person in the world. There's no money to be gained. But that's the first, they can't even help themselves. It's crazy. And I've done this with many different groups, and there is always one person whose brain cannot not comprehend using a time machine to get more rich. It's crazy. It's so funny. Like the entire purpose of the question is you're already as wealthy as anyone could be. It's very wired into some human brains. Oh, did you not pick yesterday? The point of the question, if you listened, was how far back could you go? So you're trying to find the max farthest back you can go before it's not worth it. Obviously, yesterday is worth it. 2 days ago is worth it. 3 years ago is worth it. 1990s, probably still worth it because you're going to get most of the things you know in real life. You get to play the Nintendo DS when it comes out, but you're also the richest person in the world. But once you start getting beyond that, it's like a world you don't even recognize. If you're a woman and you go behind 1970, women didn't even allowed to have their own bank account before 1970 in America. So it's like, you'd be the richest person in the world, you'd be above the rules, but other women wouldn't be. It'd be weird. So it's like, there's a certain, do you know what I'm saying? So you start to appreciate certain things about our current time, even though it's fucked up. You realize you probably wouldn't trade it, even to be the richest person in the world in the fucking 50s or whatever. That's the idea of the question. It's kind of interesting. And it's good for all ages to discuss, so it's a good icebreaker.
Yes, that is his real name. It is believed to have descended from the German name Nurmacher, belonging to distant relatives who manufactured silver and gold coins. Chris would end up working with money in his own right, earning a modest living as an...
Obviously, as a millennial dude, my version of what you guys have with XQC and Aiden Ross is this guy. I am well aware of Chris Moneymaker's legendary poker run. It caused many people my age to lose a bunch of fucking money trying to play poker. As I did when I lived in Korea. I tried to become a professional poker hustler, and I lost a bunch of money. Was no good at it. It's a classic coming of age tale for millennial men. So I know this story, but I'm excited to hear it retold from this perspective. I don't want to spoil it.
Accountant for a local restaurant chain. His life was average in just about every way, until one fateful evening when everything took an unexpected turn. The story of Chris Moneymaker began with what most of you are probably doing right now, staring at a screen while trying to kill some time. The year was 2003, and online poker had taken America by storm. While the game of poker in one form or another had existed for centuries, its popularity didn't really take off until the advent of one specific variant.
Rounders!
The name of the game is No Limit Hold'em, where players have to make the most out of 5 community cards and just 2 hole cards, which are unknown to the rest of the table. Like all the best games, Hold'em is easy to understand and difficult to master, but what makes it rather unique is its delicate balance between luck and skill. A game like chess, for example, is entirely skill-based. The outcome is determined entirely by the strategic mastery of the player. There is really no other way to win besides outplaying your opponent heads up. This leads to fair but predictable results in competitive...
Oh, there's another way to win.
play, where the winner almost always comes down to the better player. On the opposite side of the spectrum, you have a game like slots, whose outcome is entirely dependent on luck. The player is fully at the mercy of chance, with no way to gain any sort of strategic edge. There is no real difference between new and experienced players, since everyone has equal odds at hitting the jackpot. In slots, anyone can win, but no one has any control over whether they do. And then, somewhere in the middle, you have poker. A shuffled deck of cards may seem as random as a slot machine, but with enough practice and game sense, skilled players do manage to gain an edge over the competition. That edge is achieved through America's favorite pastime, lying.
It's annoying because, so the optimal video game spot for this to be is right here to make money. For fun, it's like right here. And for money, it's right here. And so all game developers are going right here. Just enough skill so you feel some expression and don't get bored and you can like feel like you're getting some mastery, but mostly luck. And then, no, League is over here. League is like right here. League is here. But League is a dying breed. The games of the future are all here. Only RNG and League is your teammates? Yeah, but even that, I mean, over time. You guys are not in ELO hell. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. You're exactly where you fucking belong. All right, your skill is accurately measured. Of
poker. A shuffled deck of cards may seem as random as a slot machine, but with enough practice and game sense, skilled players do manage to gain an edge over the competition. That edge is achieved through America's favorite pastime, lying. You see, poker is ultimately a game of information. I
just want to go back to it. I'm sorry, I keep going back. I just think it's very fascinating. Like, literally, they designed the way you play Call of Duty Black Ops around slot machines. The idea that you spawn and you get some kills for free because you're just behind somebody, you shoot them in the back of the head, and you're always getting that dopamine reward. It's literally designed to be like a slot machine. It's like they want it to be, there's some skill, of course, but you can play absolute ass and you just get a bunch of reward. It's mostly luck. Yeah, the lanes, they designed it. So, and that's where the addictive level of you know, that's where they can make the most money. That's Hearthstone. That's TFT. That's, you know, I think a lot of games got, this is not, I mean, sort of Genshin, but that's luck in a different aspect. But they're moving right here. And the games like StarCraft is right here with chess. League would be over here a little bit. Just, there's not as many games over here. The ones that are over here are stuck here for life. Counter-Strike, and I feel like there's not a lot of new stuff coming out in this part of the...
You have poker. A shuffled deck of cards may seem as random as a slot machine, but with enough practice and game sense, skilled players do manage to gain an edge over the competition. That edge is achieved through America's favorite pastime, lying. You see, poker is ultimately a game of information. The advantage exists in gathering information about your opponent's cards while concealing your own. Information can be communicated through betting. Typically, a big bet is supposed to represent a strong hand, but that's not always the case. Since you can never be certain about your opponent's cards, there is always an opportunity for deception. The technique of bluffing allows poker players to overcome losing hands by pretending to have something stronger. Understanding precisely when to bluff adds a layer of skill and complexity to an otherwise random game. In poker, the best player doesn't always win, but if you play your cards right, you can still stand a fighting chance even when the odds aren't in your favor.
Any of you ever had the experience of playing poker with like family members and there's no stakes at all? And so the game has no purpose and everyone's just getting dealt cards and then going all in with their bottle caps or whatever, and there's no... And it's like an entirely waste of time. But if you bring it up, then you're the weirdo that wants to like make it serious. And now you're ruining family fun night and you need to just go back to your computer and go back to your room. It's like a real fucking tough challenge. Not speaking from experience.
Throughout his life, Chris Moneymaker never saw himself as anything more than an amateur player. His only action came from various low-stakes online rooms. Compared to the competition, he was above average, often winning more than he lost. But one day in April 2003, he finds himself on the run of his life. It all started with an $86 buy-in to an online tournament on the site PokerStars.com.
I did not know this.
After several hours, he is one of the final 4 players remaining. By now, Chris had participated in dozens of these events, but he'd never come this close to winning. Unfortunately, this just so happens to be a tournament he's not trying to win. His initial plan is to flame out in 4th place and collect the $8,000 cash prize to pay off some credit card debt. That's because the grand prize of this tournament is a little unorthodox. Rather than a cash payout, the top 3 finishers will be given a free ticket to the World Series of Poker main event, otherwise known as the most prestigious tournament in all of poker. Chris reasonably concludes that his chances of finishing in the money at such an event would be slim to none, and prepares for the far more sensible option of taking the money right in front of him.
That's funny.
However, in the heat of the moment, he stops to reconsider his options. While he really wants to cash out, his friends and family are far more excited about the alternative. After mulling it over for a bit, they eventually convince him to answer the call to adventure, under one condition.
Fix it.
Unwilling to leave so much money on the table, Chris wants some insurance. His World Series ticket is equivalent to a $10,000 price of admission, and he intends to sell off some of that equity. His father offers him $2,000 in cash for a 20% stake, but Chris is not exactly sold yet. Before going through with it, he needs a little more investment from a friend who was willing to take a gamble. His name is Dave Gamble. I
Chris
swear I'm not
Moneymaker
making
and
any
Dave
of this up.
Gamble.
It all sounds absurd, I know, but it's not as unusual as you may think. Another interesting quirk of probability is that eventually, strange coincidences are bound to happen. On very rare occasions, order emerges from chaos, and one spring day in 2003, a man named Moneymaker and a man named Gamble walked into a casino.
That's crazy.
Do you think they were feeling lucky?
This is such an opposite video from the one earlier. This shit gets you torqued to gamble. This shit gets me. I want to play poker right now. An ad for Rocket Money? I love Rocket Money. However, I'm also supported by Rocket Money. Conflict of interest. I actually have to do a Rocket Money ad this week for the Clips channel. We finally sold 8-ish some clips.
Vegas. A poker tournament will inevitably guide the player to one of two outcomes. You either end up with no chips or all of the chips. The 2003 main event featured a record-setting field of 839 competitors, each beginning with a chip stack of 10,000. In the next 5 days, there will be just one player left standing, holding on to the entire supply of 8.39 million. The reward for this monumental task is a payday of $2.5 million. So, if you want to become the champion, you gotta start taking
You can't cash out early.
chips. A job that's easier said than done. In poker, you lose chips just by sitting at the table. The system of blinds and antes puts each player on a timer. If you just sit around waiting, your stack will gradually bleed out into nothing. The only way to increase your chip count is to start winning hands, which cannot be done without putting your own chips at risk. Eventually, the design of the game forces you into making aggressive decisions in order to
I remember the first time I played in Vegas, I was so nervous. I had just turned 21. I got a Heineken, my first beer at Vegas. And I'm sitting there and I'm folding and folding and folding. And then I got pocket kings. And I got so excited. Like I was like trying to play it cool. And I knock over my beer. And the dude next to me goes, I remember exactly what he said. He goes like, well, I know what he has, and folds. And I felt so shitty. And then I just folded around and I collected the blinds. I got nothing for it.
make progress. The only problem is that it's hard to be aggressive when you're going face to face with the best in the world. Unlike other prestigious competitions, the WSOP main event is peculiar in being open to the public. It doesn't matter if you just learned how to play on the cab ride over. As long as you pay the price of admission, you have a seat at the table with the masters of the game. It's the equivalent of driving your car onto the grid of the Indy 500. But make no mistake about it, poker's elite are more than...
It always shocks me how many people enter the World Series of Poker because it costs 10 grand, which is not a small amount of money, and everyone knows they're going to lose. Almost everybody knows they're going to lose. It's pretty shocking. They get a ton of entrants. The prize pool is huge. I guess you can play with a celebrity, yeah. I don't know. It's just, I'm surprised. I always thought it would be fewer people, but it's a lot of people.
Happy to welcome a bunch of amateurs to the party. To them, it's like letting in more minnows to the Shark Tank. As Chris Moneymaker arrived at his table on day one of competition, he's certainly feeling like fresh meat. His goal at this point is to simply survive until day 2. Just an hour into the game, he's already encountered his first roadblock, a player by the name of Jim Worth, better known by his screen name Crazy Canuck. Chris immediately recognizes him as a powerful foe from his online games. It's not long before the Crazy Canuck sees Chris as an easy target. He starts playing Chris more aggressively and taking his chips. Eventually, Chris realizes that he won't survive for long as the weak link, so he starts fighting back. After flexing some muscle with a few big bets, he gets his rival to back off, taking some pots in the process.
Nice.
By the end of the afternoon, he's actually up a few thousand chips and feeling pretty good about himself. Players are busting out of the tournament already and he's sitting on a decent cushion. After studying the other players at the table, he likes his chances. He's got everyone else mostly figured out, except for one fellow, an older gentleman in a green polo. Chris doesn't recognize him until he looks over at the side of the venue and sees his picture on the wall. All this time, Chris had been playing alongside the 1995 champion Dan Harrington, and he didn't even know it. The realization was a stark reminder that he was still very much out of his depth, and that in this tournament, threats are lurking around every corner.
The art's cool.
But after this moment, something interesting happens. Chris gets moved to a different table and starts running hot. He picks up several strong hands, makes a few good calls, and all of a sudden finds himself behind a stack of 60,000 chips. In fact, he wraps up day 1 in 11th place overall. He's in such good shape.
Phil Ivey, that's my goat. That's my poker goat. I used to watch Phil Ivey clips on the fucking bus in Korea every day. Phil Ivey's so sick, dude.
That he can actually sleep well that night. Unfortunately, he ends up sleeping a little too well. The next morning, Chris wakes up to a horrifying sight. He has overslept the beginning of day 2. While frantically rushing to the casino floor, he assumes that he's just been disqualified, throwing away the single biggest opportunity of his life. When he gets down to the tables, people wonder what he's so worked up about. He then notices his stack of chips waiting for him at an open seat. Turns out all that panic was just another rookie mistake. Chris eventually settles back into the game and seems to pick back up where he left off. He's able to capitalize off his chip advantage and bully some weaker players off their hands, even knocking some opponents out of the tournament. After several hours, he's built his stack up to 180,000. However, this surge of momentum changes course when 2 new players arrive at the table. One of them is Phil Ivey, who is regarded today as possibly the greatest poker player in history. The other is Johnny Chan, who at this time is poker's biggest celebrity. The 2-time main event champion was iconic enough to show up in Hollywood movies, and was one of the only players...
This is this scene from Rounders. Rounders is a poker movie with Matt Damon. It's kind of iconic in the poker world. It's a little cheesy, but it's fun. And the whole movie, Matt Damon, he's like a young poker hustler. He's like, I want to prove I can play with the big dogs. Like, one day I want to prove I can make with the big dogs. And the end of the movie, he goes to Vegas. He plays against Johnny Chan. He wins one hand, and he walks away like he's the GOAT. It's like, Johnny just full. Johnny just gets fucking bad cards or folds. It's like so stupid. It's like in poker, the only way to be better than someone is to beat them over thousands and thousands of hands. Each individual hand means nothing. And it isn't even like Johnny Chan like loses a bunch of money. Like, he raises, he folds. And then he walks away like, yeah, I got him beat. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That Chris immediately recognized. Just as soon as they appear, they start cleaning him out. No matter what he tries, Chris is simply no match for the pros. They're just too intimidating and too aggressive for him to get any sort of edge. By the end of the day, Ivey and Chan have drained his stack down to just over 100,000. The setback knocks him down to 26th place in the standings. Although he's losing ground on the leaders, Chris is still holding his own. By the end of day 2, there are just over 100 players left in the tournament. If he can hang on for one more day, then he's actually on pace to finish in the money. But surviving at this stage in the tournament is easier said than done. By now, the cream has risen to the top, and the pool of unskilled opponents has dried up. No matter where he lands tomorrow, he's going to be swimming with the sharks.
Day 3.
Day 3 of the tournament begins with another complication for Chris. He manages to wake up on time, but now he's having trouble finding his table. After searching for a while, he has to stop and ask one of the organizers, who points all the way down to the end of the venue, past a crowd of spectators and into the center of a bunch of lights and cameras. Chris had been assigned to the TV table.
One more man I have to mention before we get underway at our featured table. His name is Chris Moneymaker.
As if the situation couldn't get any more nerve-wracking, his seat is sandwiched between a murderer's row of poker pros. Joining him at the table are Paul Darden, Howard Lederer, and a familiar foe in Johnny Chan. When the action begins, Chris is too afraid to play a hand. He's almost mesmerized watching the clash of poker titans in front of him. He remarks at how effortlessly they toss their chips into the pot, as if the huge amounts of money they're throwing around are of no concern to them. These are the true high rollers of the game, playing next to an average Joe who's never taken home more than 40 grand in a year. Chris figures that he might as well use this opportunity to study the masters. He tries to get in their head and understand how they think. After several hands of staring down the pros, he notices a couple of them are staring back. He imagines it's some kind of mind game. a spontaneous test of will to see if he's truly worthy of being in their presence. This sublime moment is eventually broken when Johnny Chan speaks up to remind Chris that it's his turn. When he realizes what happened, he just about turns red. Chris got so caught up in his own head that he forgot to fold his cards. His most humiliating blunder of the tournament, and it was all caught on camera. He had just exposed himself as the biggest fish at the table. His only saving grace is that the broadcast is on tape delay, and that the debacle may not end up airing. Johnny Chan tries to reassure him that a gaffe like that will never see the light of day. Unless, of course, he wins. At this moment, something changed within Chris Moneymaker. While many others would have crumbled under the embarrassment, Chris ended up responding to the situation in an unexpected way. He feels oddly relaxed, like he has nothing left to fear. He starts to realize that his lack of experience offers him a unique advantage. He may be a no-name player, but that also makes him an X-Factor. After spending the whole tournament in their shadow, he begins to turn the tables on the pros.
Ooh.
A few hands later, Chris goes head-to-head with Howard Lederer. He gets dealt a pair of aces, the strongest opening hand in the game, and recognizes that now is the time to strike. After a few rounds of betting, Moneymaker shoves all in. Lederer has him covered in chips, meaning that if Chris loses, he's out of the tournament. Lederer thinks for a while and ultimately decides to fold, allowing Chris to collect a nice pot. It started to look like the momentum was back on Chris's side.
Just get
a
aces,
trend that
that
became
easy.
apparent after his showdown with Johnny Chan. Ever since the stare down, Chan had been struggling, and his situation was starting to get desperate. Just before the dinner break, Moneymaker gets dealt an ace-8 of hearts and decides he wants to tangle with the master. By now, the other players have exited the table, leaving only the challenger and the champion.
Oh, damn.
The flop comes with 2 hearts and an ace, putting Moneymaker in great shape. After Chan raises him, he decides to shove all in.
Okay.
Chan makes the call, putting his tournament life at risk. He turns over the King 5 of hearts. Moneymaker jumps out of his seat. He has Chan dominated, with 87% odds to win the hand. Just one other card is all it takes to seal the deal.
Let's
Chris
go!
Moneymaker had just busted the most famous player in the tournament.
I sat with the best in the world. And I won.
All of a sudden, this unsuspecting accountant from
That's the
Tennessee
scene.
had stumbled into the script of a Hollywood movie. Through all the commotion, he secured a spot in the top 45, good enough for a payout of at least $25,000. However, for the first time in the tournament, Chris starts to set his sights on something greater. By the end of day 3, he's sitting on 357,000 chips.
Phil Hellmuth,
good
Scotty
enough
Wynn.
for 6th place overall. If he can maintain his...
Phil Hellmuth, later famous for losing money to Ninja and getting mad about it. Truly is poker peak.
7,000 chips, good enough for 6th place overall. If he can maintain his position for one more day of action, he's on pace to make the final table, where the prize money gets truly life-changing. By day 4 of the main event, the demeanor of the room is noticeably different. The pleasantries of small talk and friendly banter have been replaced with an air of tension and unease. At this point, the players can no longer ignore what's at stake. From here on out, there's no more friends, no more patience, and no more room for error. In the next 48 hours, a champion will be crowned, and everyone has their eyes on the prize. After knocking out Johnny Chan, Chris Moneymaker is now on everybody's radar, and the pros are eager to prove that his hot streak is nothing more than a lucky break. His first challenge comes from Umberto Brenes, otherwise known as the Shark. After a couple of big bets, Brenes lures Chris into shoving all in with just a pair of 8s. When Chris sees him turn over aces, he knows he's in trouble. Brenes has him almost dead to rights, with a 92% chance of taking the pot.
Is he gonna get an
However, Moneymaker's luck hasn't run out yet.
Here comes a turn,
That's
and it's
fucked
an 8
up.
of
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's actually fucked up. That's stupid. Umberto should have been the one, dude.
clubs. The last card is no help to Brennis, and he has
That
been
sucks for him.
eliminated.
Damn, that's gotta hurt.
Remarkably, Moneymaker gets bailed out by an...
To get all your money in so good. I feel bad for Roberto. That sucks, dude. Final day of the main event to get that far, to get all your money in so good. Guy flips a fucking 8, some fucking chump accountant. Oh, I would have fucking lost it.
unlikely set of 8s that sends the shark packing. This moment is a huge wake-up call for Chris, who understands that he just dodged a bullet. The spectacle certainly hasn't helped him shake the perception of a lucky amateur, but as the day goes on, he actually begins to prove his worth. Howard Lederer is the next pro to go after Chris, confronting him with another all-in bet. This time, Chris makes the right call and lays down his cards. After that, he gets involved with the 1998 champion Scotty Nguyen. Chris immediately makes another correct read and bluffs him off his hand. After stealing a pot from one of the best in the world, Moneymaker decides to take things a bit further. Facing off against French millionaire Chuck Wong, he pulls off another bluff, and this time shows his cards to the table. His rivals are shocked to see that Chris had been holding absolute junk. For the first time, the other players are finally starting to see him as a credible threat. Halfway through the action, Chris is down to the final 22, and remains in 6th place on the leaderboard. The final table is looking more and more likely, but he still has plenty of foes standing in his way. Chris's next showdown would come against Dutch Boyd, another young gun who'd spent most of the afternoon with the chip lead. As the story goes, he had grown up as some kind of boy genius, earning his master's in law at just the age of 18. As fate would have it, he would end up using his profound intellect to play cards for a living. He spent the whole tournament outsmarting the competition, until he ends up face to face with Chris Moneymaker. Chris jumps in the action with a pair of 3s. The flop is a bunch of low cards, which improve his odds a bit, so he bets. Dutch stares him down for a while, and then raises all in. Chris is now slated with his toughest decision of the tournament. If he makes the call and he's wrong, it's game over. A pair of 3s is far from the best hand. There are many other combinations of cards that outright beat it here. Chris thinks for a long time. He considers all the different angles and possibilities.
That's just a snap fold, I feel like. I feel like that's a snap fold, but maybe I don't have the fucking heart of the cards, dude. I feel like that's a snap.
But at the end of it all, he just doesn't buy the story. Moneymaker calls and Dutch is beside himself. He's been caught out on a stone-cold bluff. The next 2 cards are no help for him, and Chris doubles up to 1.2 million chips. Dutch asks him if he exploited some kind of hidden tell. He doesn't believe that a player like him could have possibly made such a read. Chris simply responds that he had a gut feeling. Oftentimes in poker, instincts matter more than intellect. Moments later, Dutch Boyd is knocked out of the tournament in 12th place.
Damn.
And before long, Chris has survived into the top 10, 1 spot away from the final table. This is where the competition reaches a bottleneck. For the pros, making the final table is a point of pride, and no one wants to be the odd man out. The game slows to a crawl as every player tightens up. The stalemate extends well past midnight. Chris has now been playing poker for over 13 hours straight.
Jesus.
Under the mounting exhaustion, he's trying his best to weather the storm, until he sees an opportunity. Starting with ace-queen, Chris hits a set on the flop. After an unsuspecting 9 on the turn, he likes his chances and bets big. He would have felt even better if he wasn't challenging Phil Ivey, the most dangerous player left in the field. Immediately, he proves why that's the case and raises all in. Chris makes the call, and to his horror, Ivey turns over a pair of 9s. With a pair of queens already on the board, it's good for a full house, blowing Chris's hand away. His odds of winning have plummeted to just 17%. Ivey did everything right, and provided another reminder of why many consider him to be the best to ever play.
Yeah, I'll play.
In the future, he'll go on to win dozens of tournaments, but as fate would have it, this was not one of them.
No fucking way. No fucking way. That's so annoying. That's so annoying. What a fucking dipshit. With no skill. What a plot armor fucking... What an insane bailout. Holy God, Phil Ivey got his money in so good yet again. It's not even a coin flip. It's not like a 50-50. It's like an 87. That's crazy.
An incredible knockout
That's
blow.
crazy.
Probably the best player left in the tournament.
The river card is an ace.
Bro, Phil Ivey should have won this tournament.
Giving Moneymaker a superior full house. Ivy is out of the tournament in 10th place, and Chris has advanced to the final table as the overall chip leader. An amateur player who just a month ago was stressing out over $8,000 is now in prime position to take home $2.5 million.
Sheesh.
Thus far, it's been a great story, inspirational even, but if we're being realistic, this has to be the part where we step out of Neverland. He's made some great plays, toppled some of the best in the game, and even seems to have luck on his side. But at some point, Chris's inexperience is gonna come back to bite him, and he's gonna get beat. His best course of action now should be to coast off his lead, enjoy the ride, and wait for the inevitable. However, the man named Moneymaker has other plans. The law of large numbers states that after enough trials, everything eventually regresses to the mean. 4 days ago, Chris had never set foot in a real-life poker tournament, and now finds himself leading the most important event of the year. He's about as big of a statistical outlier as they come. In all this time, everyone has been waiting for the other shoe to drop on the online fish. But for as long as the pros have believed this, Chris has continued to pick them off one by one. He starts the final day of competition by knocking out David Gray. A while later, he takes out Tomer Benvenesti, followed by Jason Lester, bringing Moneymaker into the top 3.
That's crazy.
The next one to fall is Dan Harrington, the original Spectre who haunted him all the way back at his very first table. And with that, Chris Moneymaker had only one player left to beat. His final opponent is Sam Farha, who resembles the dictionary definition of a poker professional. Cunning, unflappable, and visibly richer than you. Chris has come face to face with his complete antithesis, a seasoned veteran who's finally gonna put the scrappy underdog in his place. There's a break in the action before the final showdown as the tournament organizers remind everyone what they're fighting for. They wheel out $2.5 million in cold hard cash and dump it on the table.
That's badass.
Few people in history have ever been in the presence of that much physical money. It's enough dough that Chris can literally smell it. The moment snaps him back to reality. He'd been so dialed into the game that he forgot what was at stake. And for the first time in a while, Chris thinks about playing it safe. During the break, he runs into Sam Farha in the restroom and tries to cut a deal. He wants to split the first and second place purse 50-50 and just play for the trophy. Since Chris has about a 2-to-1 chip advantage, he considers it a generous offer. Farha, however, disagrees. He doesn't see Chris as an equal opponent, and wants a greater share of the winnings.
Oh,
For as far as he's come, the others still don't think he deserves to be there. To truly earn their respect, Chris has to go out and prove himself once and for all. The championship battle rages back and forth. After 90 minutes of action, neither player has been able to get an edge. That all changes on the 27th hand of the showdown. As the cards are dealt, both players fire into the pot. Chris has King 7, and after the turn card has both a straight and a flush draw. Sensing an opportunity, he bets big. The river card comes, and it's a total brick. Chris misses on both of his draws and is hung out to dry with just King High. He thinks for a bit, and then does the unthinkable. Moneymaker shoves all in with absolute junk. Farha has him beat with a pair of 9s. He has a golden opportunity to double up and put Chris in a nearly insurmountable deficit. All he has to do is make the call. Farha stares Chris down, scanning for any sort of inconsistency. Moneymaker has gone still as a statue. For the next minute, he doesn't move a muscle. After an excruciating wait, Farha lays down. Chris has just pulled off the bluff of the century. On the very next hand, he flops 2 pair and catches Sammy on a pair of jacks. Farha moves all in, and Moneymaker calls. After 2 more cards, it's all over.
No way. No way. Oh, Farha was 1 call away and then instant knocked out. Jeez Louise.
With a full house, Chris Moneymaker eliminates Sam Farha, and in a very swift and unlikely manner is atop the poker world.
When he finally looked over his domain, he wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer.
Okay.
The 2003 World Series of Poker main event belongs to Chris Moneymaker. He finishes out his run with a tournament-winning full house. In his first ever live event, he walks out of the casino a multi-millionaire. In the words of ESPN commentator Norman Chad,
This is beyond fairy tale. It's inconceivable.
Amidst the celebration, poker vets Mike Matusow and Eric Seidel.
The number of men who would lose money because of that win were millions more. The number of people that look like Chris Moneymaker that was like, oh, I could do it too. Wow, it's the perfect dream. Just fucking punt. Oh, is it going to talk about that? All right.
Are discussing what just transpired. Matusow is distraught, believing that the air of legitimacy around poker pros had just been dismantled. If a guy like Moneymaker could come in and beat the best in the world, what would that say about the industry as a whole? Seidel, on the other hand, sees things more pragmatically. He suggests that they donate Chris 5% of their future earnings, because the world of poker was about to change forever. Several months later, the tournament would air on ESPN, marking the beginning of what came to be known as the Moneymaker effect. The program drew in record viewership for televised poker, prompting the network to re-air the special nearly a dozen times. It turned out that the American public found Chris's story to be quite inspirational. People became enamored by the idea of raking in millions by playing cards for a few days. Just 1 year later, the WSOP main event saw triple the entrants. The poker boom was underway, as everyone tried to become the next Chris Moneymaker. In the following decades, this influx of new players would end up earning the poker industry billions. However, the great irony with all of this is that for the part he played in it, Chris didn't actually walk away with that much money. Remember that steak he sold to his friends and family? Well, he had to make good on that promise. For his $2,000 share, Mike Moneymaker went on to pocket $500,000. And as for Dave's gamble, he turned his $2,500 wager into $625,000. That would have still left Chris with a nice chunk of change. But as it turned out, Mrs. Moneymaker got more than she bargained for when her husband started traveling the world to play poker for a living. The two would end up splitting, and most of the remaining prize money would leave with her.
Yikes.
Chris may not have been left with much of a fortune, but he did have fame. The folks at PokerStars greatly appreciated the free promotion he'd given them, and agreed to cover the costs of any event he wanted to enter. Needless to say, this new career path was certainly a step up from accounting. At the end of it all, Chris had found his true calling in life, and as time went on, it became apparent that his magical run may not have been such a fluke after all. Soon enough, he would prove himself as quite a natural at the game, and as of 2024, he's still winning tournaments.
Damn!
It's now been over 20 years since Chris Moneymaker
I didn't know
changed
that.
poker
That's
forever.
kinda hype.
If you catch him at the right time,
I always thought he was a
you can
fluke.
still see him trying his luck at the place where it all began. This year's main event featured more than 10,000 entrants competing for a grand prize of $10 million.
That could be us, chat. That could be us. Let's all put in $10,000 each and go enter the World Series of Poker. We could win big. We just gotta get lucky.
Today, the game is certainly different than the one Moneymaker came into. Many would agree that modern poker lacks much of the mystique and wonder that once made it so entertaining. The colorful cast of characters from
There's
the
so much
past have
math now.
slowly been phased out by a new generation of players who prefer a more robotic and analytical approach to the
Losers.
game. With the rise of computers and poker engines, everyone now understands the statistically optimal way to play. After all this...
Dude, the real thing that fucks it that nobody talks about? Poker is a game, much like chess, where bots are very good and often and really better than people. And there's Russian networks of bots that are running on every poker website that are actually just farming people for money at all levels of skill, especially any limit area. Bots crush in limit where the bets are limited. And it's all covered up and no one talks about it because it's such a lucrative industry and poker stars know what to do and they pretend they have a handle on it, but I mean, it's just too easy to do and there's too much money at stake. You know, you could literally have an app tell you what to do, you know, with a bot and then use it yourself as a human. It's like there's too few moves. It's not like, you know. So if you're playing online poker, you should quit legitimately. You are in a losing game. There's actually, no matter how good you think you are in a losing game.
This time, we're still trying to master the odds. But no matter how advanced your strategy is, no one really
Play
controls
Doghouse,
their
yeah,
destiny.
exactly.
Whenever you shuffle a deck of cards, there's an astronomically high chance that the combination you hold in your hands has never existed before in history. The universe is full of possibilities, a few of which will lead us towards strange and beautiful surprises, to things far more valuable than money. When you think about all the cards that had to fall exactly right for the story to turn out this way, it's hard to believe it really happened. Of course, there are those who will tell you that there's no such thing as chance. Events either happen or they don't. As far as we're concerned, the probability is either 0 or 100. The other numbers are just there to make our unknowable future feel a bit less murky. Life is a lot more unpredictable than we'd often like to admit. And sometimes, it's incredible what can happen when you no longer fear the odds.
Yeah, and get really lucky. Fire video, though. Fire video. Fire video, fire story. Definitely something I remember fondly. It was a fun era. Though I did go to Korea and lose plenty of cash. Play a hand real quick. How can I... There's... I don't want to count. The moral of the story is go gamble. You'll win big. You'll win huge. Hey, we're supposed to upload a video. What the fuck? Did this get uploaded yet? Oh my goodness gracious. Did we upload a fucking video? God damn it. It's just a picture of Aiden's face. That's our thumbnail. That's not good. It's not gonna work. All right, it's uploaded. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Easy peasy. Are you the next coming of Bronny James? I feel like the world has done Bronny James a disservice. I feel like no one's had a harder life than him, and he is constantly challenged at every opportunity. It's just not fair. If he was given a fair shot, he would be an all-star NBA generational talent. But because it's extra hard for him, he doesn't get that chance. Heavy is the crown. I'm just saying LeBron hasn't reached R1 or Diamond 1 in Rainbow Six, but Bronny has. Yeah. You're saying that? I'm agreeing with you. I'm fucking agreeing with you. The richest people carry the heaviest burdens. True. Fucking true. This is such a funny combo. What is this? You searched my chat, my Twitter history for the word poker. About to hustle these fools in the Twitch office poker game. Spelled wrong because I was probably drunk. Hashtag easy money. Poker update. I lost all my chips. Okay. You know, I remember this. So these people are engineers. And they are easy money. The engineers at Twitch had a bunch of real money and they didn't care about it. And they were bad at poker. But then this particular game in 2015, not 2014, when I was making money on these games, was when this guy showed up. This guy's name is Scott Ball, and he was head of Twitch Poker Division, which we had at the time. By the way, we didn't hire a single person for League of Legends, but we had a guy for poker. Anyway, you notice he has a lot of fucking chips. He cleaned up, dude. He played poker all the fucking time. He cleaned up. He shouldn't have played with us. It wasn't. How's that fair? The guy's like a full-time poker guy. Anyway, he cooked us. Was it his idea to play? No, we had a game. We had a regular Twitch game on like Friday nights, and he joined the game. It's like crazy to show up at a new workplace and join the friendly game and then crush it with being a professional. It's crazy. That's a crazy thing to do. To sweep up. It's cringe. Anyway. Later, I'm just going to say it. I don't give a shit. Later, this guy would offer Ludwig a poker sponsorship. And then this is when I was still, this is early days when Ludwig like had like 3K viewers like me. And I was handling his deals. And, well, Ludwig did the deal and then asked me about it. And he's like, yeah, he said he's going to pay me out net 120. Is that normal? I was like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Net 120? He's going to pay you out in 120 days for your poker sponsorship? No, that's not normal. By the way, at that point, it had already been like 100. And then it got to 120 during the fucking renegotiation, and he still didn't pay. So it was a whole thing. But he did eventually pay, so I do want to say that. I got finessed a little bit. Well, he got the money. Dom getting here with the net 120? True. True, I am paying Dom net 120, so it all adds up. It all comes back in circles. I actually... Milky Reed Mondays, thank you for the 6 months. I think... maybe I'll watch this Cold Fusion video. The problem with Cold Fusion is they rub me the wrong fucking way ever since they stole that documentary Point Blank. I know they've had good stuff, and maybe this is a while ago, but they straight up stole a documentary that I've watched that I don't know if a lot of people have seen. They stole the Enron documentary. Smartest Guys in the Room. Straight up. Footage, order, everything. And that pissed me off. So I stopped watching them. But it was a while ago. Maybe they've made some good stuff. Could watch Good Work. Maybe. What's the point of the Cybertruck? Fuck it, we'll watch
The
this.
Tesla Cybertruck. This roughly 6,500-pound stainless steel missile that was conceived when Elon Musk fucked a dishwasher has become a cultural lightning rod. Conservatives love it, libs hate it, but good God, is it great for content.
The Tesla Cybertruck.
Cybertruck.
Oh, here it is, here it is. Do I have a lot of thoughts? Already a disaster.
You gotta admit that's a fun thing to drive.
Yeah.
It's definitely faster than it needs to be.
We're gonna shoot the Cybertruck, so we're gonna open fire on the Cybertruck.
That looks hilarious.
Today, I investigate the hubbub encircling this big baby. Is there more to this angular whip than simply...
There's so many fucking Cybertrucks in LA, it's insane. It must be the most Cybertrucks per capita of any city in the world. It must be. I see one all the time. Oh, maybe Miami. Maybe Miami. Maybe Miami. I don't think Austin, bro.
Being a tank for people who are too big of pussies to join the military? Let's find out.
I feel like Miami's because it's the crypto capital of America, and you got to figure every crypto bro's got a Cybertruck. So maybe it's Miami, but I think LA.
Elon Musk first unveiled the concept Cybertruck back in 2019 at a Matrix cosplay event for lonely single men who know what Y Combinator is. It was here that he asked one of his fake steampunk executive assistants to demonstrate the vehicle's indestructibility.
Franz, could you try to break this glass, please? Sure? Yeah. Oh my fucking god. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
That's such a great scene.
Elon, however, has never been one to let public embarrassment dissuade him from risking further public embarrassment.
True.
So he persisted. In true Tesla fashion, there were years of development, long production delays, and major recalls, including when the rear-view camera, which is the only way to see out of the back of the car, potentially didn't work in 27,000 vehicles. But after all that, late last year, the first Tesla Cybertruck started bumbling through our streets, leaving many onlookers with the same question: why?
The glib answer is that Elon Musk thought it would be cool. I don't really see a really strong marketing or strategic reason for the Cybertruck.
I think the point of the Cybertruck is that Elon Musk wanted to make it. It's difficult to look at it and come up with a clear business case for building that vehicle.
It's a good question. If only I could see inside Elon's mind, I would have the right answer.
These here fellas have all done a lot of reporting on electric vehicles, and together we would form an absolutely dominant high school Model UN team. When I asked them to make the case for this roughly $100,000 19-foot-long death-shaped wheelie boat, they all gave me variations of around the same answer. Ya boy wanted to do something crazy.
Tesla is a company that has sort of prided itself on not doing things the same way as other car makers.
It's not really a working truck. It's not very practical for a tradesperson. This is for somebody who lives in the suburbs, makes quite a lot of money. I mean, you could argue it's sort of a halo vehicle, one of those vehicles that not that many people buy, but that attracts people to the brand. Maybe you could say that it makes Tesla look like the cutting-edge car company that's doing things nobody else does. But I really think it's just something that Elon Musk thought would be cool.
The thing is, despite its apparent lack of traditional strategy, the Cybertruck is really starting to do numbers for Tesla and its loud flesh mascot.
He was correct in building a toy for the fanboys who love him, because there's a lot of them, you know? And they've come out to buy it.
In July, roughly the same number of people bought a Cybertruck as all other electric pickups combined. And it was the third best-selling electric vehicle overall in Q3. And for all the regulars out there, Q3 is business speak for quarter 3. Sometimes experts like me like to use the fiscal calendar instead of the normal human calendar. Just a little thing we do in the industry.
Yep.
No reason to get nervous. Tesla says the recent success of the Cybertruck has made the vehicle profitable. It's also helped Tesla reverse a 2-quarter sales decline. But just like when I win slam dunk contests, context is important here. Those dunk contests are conducted on a 7-foot rim against my cousins who are in elementary school, and I have drugged them. While the Cybertruck was the third best-selling overall EV model in Q3, it was still tens of thousands of units away from the top-selling models, Tesla's Model 3 and Model Y, which have dominated the market for years. Some experts think that the time Tesla spent building Elon's dream truck was a waste of an opportunity to develop a new, cheaper model that would appeal more to the general public to firm up Tesla's lead in the increased...
This would be good to have in America. Like a giant turret on the front of your armored car. That way nobody cuts me off in LA traffic. I would feel safer with one of these. In fact, I feel unsafe not having one.
Model that would appeal more to the...
Or like, what if a liberal asked me for money? Do you know what I'm saying? I just would feel unsafe. I'm going to need like...
general public to firm up Tesla's lead in the...
What if Joe Biden approaches with his hand out for more of my tax dollars? I'm gonna need a fucking tough vehicle.
Increasingly competitive domestic EV industry, and to compete with the much cheaper EVs being produced internationally, especially by China's BYD. Plus, lots of Cybertruck sales so far have been fulfilling years of pre-orders. It remains to be seen how many new customers Tesla will be able to capture.
What if a woman with blue hair existed in the world? I can't. I need fucking 6 layers of armor. I'm not. What am I gonna do? It's just I wouldn't be able to fucking. It's gonna pierce the very fabric of my being.
Now, all that yammering aside, these moderately positive sales numbers do beg the question: is the Cybertruck maybe actually a good car?
When we first saw this thing debut, if you look at the response from seasoned car journalists and analysts, it's impossible to build a truck that looks like this, that passes all of safety regulations, that is manufacturable. So for him to actually do it, I think is impressive.
After David here posted a somewhat positive review of the Cybertruck to his car culture website, The Autopian, he faced a wave of backlash like he'd never before experienced in his career.
I actually kind of like the Cybertruck. The biggest sin that there is in the car world is boringness, and the Cybertruck does not commit that sin. My review basically stated that it's a compromised truck, and despite that, it's still cool, which seemed like a really lukewarm take, to be honest.
Sure.
I got it from all sides. You know, people who hate Elon and think that I'm supporting him by saying the truck is cool. People who love Elon, who are, I mean, you really can't say anything negative about him or any product, or they will jump down your... That whole
Sure thing, Daddy-O. But at this point, I had had enough of all the jibber-jabber. It was time for me to get my hands on this polarizing puppy dog, take it out on the road, and see what all the fuss was about. And here we have it, the Cybertruck in the flesh. Now, folks, what you're getting here is truly a massive vehicle. It's incredibly shiny. If you want to see me pop the frunk, you want to watch me pop the frunk?
Oh, shit.
All of this extra space to bury your enemies. As I embarked on my cyber trip, I had to admit that while there were some obvious flaws, I truthfully cannot overstate how sharp the front of this vehicle is. There's just a layer of sharp around everything. So I cannot see anything that's immediately in front of my nose. This car is ideal for hitting a small child in this area.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a rear view mirror.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. There's a YouTuber.
Rendered completely useless by the little back hatch that I have. So instead, I have my tiny little strip of a screen here. I also found parts of the Cybertruck experience to be pretty nifty. Right now, I haven't been flipped off. The feel of driving this car does not match how it looks at all. I feel like I'm driving a pretty swift SUV. So how have you felt as a passenger?
I will say it's very easy to get distracted inside this car.
There are many things to distract you. I mean, they have their own built-in karaoke system. In fact, the goofy joys of the Cybertruck felt much more like playing with a geeky, expensive toy than flying the flag of the techno-conservative right wing. From where I was sitting, it seemed like most people didn't care about the Cybertruck and all of its baggage. Here we go, lunch. One original McCrispy, one deluxe McCrispy. I'm driving a Cybertruck, just...
Dude, a dude pulling up in a Cybertruck in a trench coat wearing sunglasses. Lanky white dude. And then telling you he's been driving a Cybertruck. That's cinema. That is peak, dude.
Just letting you know.
Okay.
Okay. They mostly just thought the thing was kind of cool or weird. Are you a fan?
Yes.
You don't judge me for this?
No, I f with this shit. I love
Really?
Yes, this is an amazing car.
When you see this, what comes to mind?
Speed, fast.
Speed and fast. Well, hell yeah.
I think the camera has something to do with it.
How are you?
Oh my God, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
As you should be.
What do you think of the car?
No, it's cool. It's different. It doesn't look like every other pickup truck.
If you see somebody driving a Cybertruck, what do you assume about them? If anything.
Nothing.
Money?
Well, you heard her.
There may be nothing quite like the Cybertruck that distills the online bubble factor better. When I would open up threads, all the stuff that it would feed me was people out there just mocking the Cybertruck, that tribe. You know, if you live in that very online sphere, it would be impossible to imagine anyone buying this vehicle. And then you go out into the world, and guess what? Either like Musk fanboys or I think a decent contingent of just not very online people are buying them.
But I had to wonder, are there really people out there who own a Cybertruck and aren't plugged into all of the Elon brouhaha? Well, when I put a call out to see if any Cybertruck owners wanted to talk to me for this episode, one of my only responses came from a man who told me that
one of the reasons I was intrigued by this is like, I just don't get it. I just don't understand the controversy at all. I think the first couple weeks I would get a lot of looks and people would like slow down, take pictures. That died off pretty quickly.
Tony here has owned Teslas before, and he more or less fits the classic Tesla guy profile. He lives in LA, he used to own a successful tech company, and he wears black baseball hats indoors. But he doesn't see driving the Cybertruck as anything more than whipping a funky sauce wagon.
To me, it's just a car. It's a car that I like. I'm grateful to be able to buy it and own it, and I'm not making any statements of any kind. I just think it's cool and it's fun to drive.
So what's the point of the Cybertruck? Well, for different people, it means different things. For some, the Cybertruck is a representation of what Elon Musk has become, a Republican dweeb god who diarrheas cash into the mouths of rural Pennsylvanians. For others, the Cybertruck is an embodiment of Elon's genius and his ability to revolutionize stale industries. But it's also clear to me that for lots of people who maybe aren't addicted to yelling at each other in very specific corners of the internet, the Cybertruck means something different than I anticipated. It's just a type of car. And it doesn't mean much more than that.
Interesting.
Good work. I'm Dan Toomey.
What are you gonna get from McDonald's?
I've been eyeing the Kai Cenat meal.
Fuck you, bro.
Pulling up in a Cybertruck, ordering the Kai Cenat, dude, that's the fucking dream. That's when you know you've made it in America. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end stream. I have to do some more work. But I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully with a interesting Targeting Tuesday on crypto. Sevens, thank you for watching. Also, if not, I will do best tweets, because we got a best tweets. So anyway, thank you for watching. Much appreciated. We'll have something tomorrow either way. Bear with me this week as I get the finishing touches on everything, but I'm very excited. I'm going to raid. Well, Stans is playing TFT. Doug's playing WoW. Let's raid Doug. Doug. Give Doug some love. I think if he dies, he has to just quit or something. He's playing until he dies. Should be fun. Thanks for watching. Good night. Goodbye. Thanks for the subs today, by the way. I shouldn't have this many subs because I haven't been live very much, but I will earn it back with a lot of work in December. Goodbye.